Don't worry about this, chat. We're all good. I'm just in the thing already, waiting. You know. There we go. In case Boo joins in immediately. Sorry, did I just see that we hemorrhaged some more people? Is that a thing that I just saw? Damn. I mean, it makes sense. But also... Damn. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, well, there goes Clyde. Thanks, Clyde. Well... Okay. Well, while we're waiting for Boo to get here, hello. It is I. I am here. For you, the people. Let me just make sure that this is all set. This is all set. Very good. Very good. Okay. Yeah, hello. Welcome back to TableTalk, Discussion and Discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Great on 95. And I am here to tell you about things and stuff and what I think about them. Isn't that interesting? I think so. If you're following along at this point, if you've been following along for a while now, I mean, you already know. Things and stuff do get talked about. Whether or not they are on topic is a different story entirely. But we do talk about things. And also stuff. It is a very I don't know. It's going to happen. We are going to talk about things and also stuff. That is a thing. And also stuff. Well, while we're letting people filter those who are going to hang out today and my co-host, I'm going to talk to you about what I've been doing this past week and a couple of things. If you hear me sipping, I'm actually sipping from a TableTalk mug that I got off of TeePublic. I'm not gonna do the big shoutouts and stuff. I'm just gonna tell you that, and I've got a hoodie that is currently in my laundry basket because it needs to be washed, and I will talk more about them later. But I shared the pictures on the Discord. They're just a couple of pictures, like it's nothing, right? They are just as they are. Things that I now have that I'm pleased with. So that's good. Plus I have I've gotten my time of or I put some time in to watch a couple of things the other day and the day before that. Nothing that is in any way relevant to today's conversation, in any way, but it is definitely something that I want to talk about just a little bit, right? I watched 4 movies, technically. There's only 2 that I want to talk about too much, but I will talk about the first one that I actually very much enjoyed first. I watched Battle Royale, the 90s movie? No, 2000? No, 2000. When did that come out? Hello, Timothy. Oh, Consumer Cellular claims that my data for the month is used up, so we'll see if slower connection can keep up. Hello, Lux. I'm sorry that that's the case. But yeah, so Battle Royale was good. Hello, Slay. Yes. I wanted to say that there's a lot of stuff in that that's a little weird, right? Movie's a little weird in points, but what I saw in that movie was people saying and doing things that I understood and that I was happy about, right? Like people would pick things up after doing stuff when I was like, dude, you gotta pick that up. And then once they also picked something else up, I was like, no, dude, that's not useful to you. And they would like throw it away because it wasn't useful to them. And I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. So definitely would recommend Battle Royale. It has a lot of people like moving after getting shot 1,000,000 times, which is very strange. But and it's really funny whenever they just like die in like the sense of just like flopping over and bleh, you know? It's really funny. So definitely recommend that. It's just fun, honestly, and I'm glad that it's fun. I didn't get angry, which was great. Yeah, it was 2000. Cool. Apparently there's a Battle Royale 2, and I fear for that, you know? Monster of the Week tonight? Cool. Yeah, we'll talk about it. And it might take up the whole episode. If not, we got another thing. It's not? Oh, Battle Royale 2? Damn. Oh, it's not bad? Oh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It scares me because it's like, oh, it's a sequel to it, right? And I was like, oh, I got basically what I needed out of the first one, right? So what could they do for a second one, right? Maybe I'll watch it at some point. I don't know. But that was a recent watch. That was like a couple of days ago, right? I was just laying on the couch and I was like, I gotta go to bed soon. So I watched a movie. And then I did. I also watch movies. Oh, good luck. But before that, I had some friends over and we watched all of the newer trilogy of the Planet of the Apes movies. The one where Andy Serkis is the CGI ape man. And I watch movies also. Oh. And yeah, so I watched that too. I watched all 3 of them. And let me tell you, the first one was fun. And there was less wrong with it. And I was like, this is a pleasant experience. The second one had a lot that made me go, why are you doing that? But I also had fun with it. The third one is the one that I want to talk about a little bit. Because, fuck me, was that the worst, like, it was just bad. It was just a bad movie. War for the Planet of the Apes from 16, I want to say? Let me get an exact date. War for the Planet of the Apes. 2017. I was close. Yeah, so it goes Dawn, then Rise, then War. That's the order of those movies. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is pretty alright. There's a couple of times where I'm like, you're doing the thing where, you know, you can't shoot through cars, and, you know, sometimes there's a lot of plot armor. There should be a lot more dead gorillas and apes going on. Monkeys should be dying, right? That happened. But I was like, all right, I'll deal with it, you know. It's not the worst thing in the world for me at this point in that movie. The second one was even more of like, dude, how did this happen, right? It's been like 10 years. How did we come about to this being the case that this is? But again, still had a good time with it. The third one, the War for the Planet of the Apes, there is no war between the apes and people. There's no war for any planet of any apes. It's not a thing. There's no war. There's a battle between people, one rogue faction of the military, and a not rogue faction of the military. And they have a little bit of a battle. But it sucks. It's really, really, really weirdly paced. Most of the characters, except for like the orangutan Maurice and that's it, really. It's like the only character that I give a shit about at that point. Because even Caesar is like, Caesar's the main ape, if for those of you who don't know. Even Caesar I don't care about. I'm telling you things about this because I don't want you to ever watch War for the Planet of the Apes. It's bad. Just watch Rise and Dawn, or sorry, Dawn and then Rise, and then leave it there. It does so much better for you. It really does. I don't remember much of the old Planet of the Apes movies, but I do remember putting a sheet over my head and pretending to be a nuclear missile a lot as a small child. Whoa. That's cool. Hell yeah. But yeah, so it's not a good time. I wouldn't recommend War at all. Just avoid it like the plague. Lot of like, I don't understand what the motivations are and why people do the things they do. Neither do I think that Caesar is exactly he's not great. He's a man. He's not a monkey anymore. He's not an ape. He just speaks all the time. On occasion he'll do sign language, but then he'll just talk afterwards. And it just doesn't feel like he's a ape anymore. And like there's very little distinction except for the fact that he can, you know, go around on all fours and climb and stuff, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of weird biblical like imagery in it in a way that I was that I noticed. It's very interesting. Seemed very out of place. Fucking one of the characters is named Bad Ape and is just comic relief, and it doesn't fit because it's not funny. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like the colonel's plans don't make a lot of sense in the sense of like how things work, as well as why he keeps Caesar even alive when the whole point is to kill him to like end the war, quote unquote, that's happening. Yeah, I don't know. It's not good. Oh, and lots of plot armor, lots of just absolute contrivances to get the plot going and to get people to where they are and all that kind of stuff. Horrible. I had a horrible time with it, you know. The sheet was so I would have more of a missile-like shape. That makes sense. That makes sense. I find it's easier to just dive into a movie or TV show I know nothing about if it's from another country. As the US, I like to learn a little bit about it before watching. That's fair. I like to not know a lot of things before I watch something that I'm actually interested in. But this one I don't want anyone to watch. So don't watch it. I also might have perceived the original movies as Bible movies. I don't remember the originals. All I know is that third one for War for the Planet of the Apes has like literal crucifixions of apes, and Caesar is like weirdly their like monkey Jesus in a way. It's strange. I don't know. It's a weird time. So it just doesn't fit. Not that I have anything wrong with the religious imagery. It just doesn't fit the movie like at all. because I thought it was going to be a war for the Planet of the Apes, but it's the apes are caught in between a conflict between two human factions. That's it. It's not even that much of a war at all. Maybe the one guy thinks that it's a war for survival and stuff. I don't know. Oh, good. Boo's here. I'm glad I waffled for a bit. All right, give me a sec. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I just got out of the shower.
Nice. Clean man.
Yes.
Well, I've been regaling how much I don't like War for the Planet of the Apes, the 2017 movie.
What happened in that one again?
Not a war for any planet of any apes.
True. Yeah. Because, like, the first movie, and some of it is, like,
I liked it.
It's so strong in some portions.
Yep. Second one, even though it's fucking doesn't make any sense, still pretty fun.
Yeah, because, like, basically everything to do with Caesar is fucking sick as hell.
Yeah.
And Evil Monkey, I forget his name.
Koba.
Ah, that's it.
Yep. I watched them pretty recently, and
and I loved the orangutan.
Maurice, yes.
Yeah!
Maurice is great. He
was nice.
He's like the best character throughout. Like all three.
They teach him how to read. It's cute.
Yeah. And then the third movie happens.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I ever actually saw the third movie.
This is the thing. I had friends over, and one of my friends was literally like, I've seen this movie, but I have no recollection of it. And as we kept going, she was like, I've seen this movie, but I still have no recollection of what's going on. And at the end of it, she was like, man, I wish we hadn't watched that movie. And I was like, yup.
Wow. That's a shame.
Yep. It's one of those things where it's like,
then I guess I'm glad I never saw it.
It like, if you ever do see it and you like pay attention to it, it will stick in your brain for how bad it is. But if you don't pay attention to it as much, it will just leave your mind.
Yeah,
it's magic.
It does not live rent-free in anybody's brain.
No, it's a bad movie. It's just bad.
So, one thing that I found out in the time between podcasts, and I kept forgetting to mention it. It has to do with Dark Tide. The bolters that you get,
yes,
their flavored text specifically mentions that these are not the kind that the Astartes use, and that they've been modified for civilian use. So, basically, the way I'm going to think of them is a bolt pistol that functions like a bolter.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did fucking, what's the... Who's
Belisarius Call?
Thank you, yes.
God damn it, of course I fucking knew who you were talking about.
I was like, it's not Ferrus Manus. Why am I thinking Ferrus Manus?
Yeah, it's not fair, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, if Call went to a bolter as well and went, nah, let's make it so humans can also use it, then it's like, Jesus Christ, come on, man. You're fucking with all the Emperor stuff.
Is Ferrus Manus the leader of the Iron Hands?
Yes.
Fuck.
Yeah. Dude, that's not hard. Let's be fair.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I had to ask, but I was just hoping against hope that he wasn't.
Yeah. No. I believe that he is. I believe that he is, yes.
Yeah, no, with a name like that, he is.
It's either that or Imperial Fists, but I'm pretty sure it's not Imperial Fists.
Isn't that Rogel Dorn?
Yeah.
I think that's Rogel.
Yeah, you're right.
I think.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, so that's nice to know.
It's at least something.
Yeah, right. They acknowledge that, this is not a real bolter.
Okay, that's good, because otherwise we'd all have conniptions like we did.
I made a sharpshooter, and I'm playing through because I want to see more of the guns in the game, and I made it, and I named him Grotz in an overcoat.
Nice, very good. I like that.
Yeah.
Timothy Martin says, hello, Boo.
Hello.
Speaking of sexy gentlemen who just got out of the shower, I've arrived. Hello, August.
Ooh.
Man. Looks like I'm slowly drifting into the past here, so I'll probably have to time skip every now and then. Alright, Lex, no worries. Okay, so, well, now that you're here, we can really begin. 'Cause I haven't done shit all yet, in terms of tabletop stuff. So today, we're going to be talking about Monster of the Week.
Yes.
And why it's actually the best RPG, maybe?
We'll see.
So this is the thing, right? From Monsters is cool. Don't get me wrong here. Monsters is a cool game. I've not played it yet because I think the game that I was going to be a part of seems to be dead in the water, unfortunately. But
rip.
I read it a bit. I have a character ready, and it seems pretty simple. Pretty good. But would I call it the best? Just conceptually, I'm not sure I would. Mostly because, but this is a preference thing. Because it's simplistic. As opposed to something like Call of Cthulhu or Delta Green, which I think I put Delta Green above this in the sense of like a horror action-y kind of TTRPG, right? Haven't even looked into Pulp Cthulhu yet, but that one's even more so, I would imagine. Right?
It is.
Yeah, so if I wanted something like that, I would probably cite that if I knew more about it, but I don't. But regardless, I think this is just going to become a preference video, but I'm interested to see if there's any like definitive claims.
Yeah.
Because it's the title is definitive.
Yeah, because like the thing is, I like the theme of Monster of the Week, where it's like, oh man, you're going out and it's a monster fighting the Monster of the Week.
Exactly.
Kind of in the title. But what I want to know is, how does it function in terms of like campaigns? Is it like way more? Is it way more episodic, where you don't really? It doesn't work for campaigns, because that would be kind of like
It to me, at least from an outsider perspective, reading into it, it seems like it would be better to be episodic.
It's like more of a one-shot kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You get through the thing, like it takes you like a 3-hour session, 4-hour session. You get through it all, you beat the monster, and then you're done. Right?
And that alone, that to me is just, it feels like it's going too fast.
3
hours, we're already done with the main objective.
Right, exactly. Well, that's because you and I and our group, we take our time like no one's business.
Oh yeah.
Really. Because we like to stop and inhale the roses until they're inside of our brains. Until we've memorized what that rose smells like, that particular rose specifically. Yeah. But to each their own, I'm probably way off base, but what I'm expecting is something reminiscent of the Powerpuff Girls. Well, yeah, that's not too off base, honestly, from what I imagine.
Yeah, it's honestly not.
Yeah. Monster of the Week kind of sounds like a one-shot. Yeah, basically. That's the thing. The title itself even kind of implies it. But, again, we will see. Hopefully we get more of a lowdown and see what's going on. This is why Monster of the Week is actually the best RPG by Roll With Me. So, here we go. It's like a 30-minute video, so we'll see if this takes the whole fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Are you into tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, and Monster of the Week?
Oh, your sound mixing.
Sweet.
That is very loud.
Holy God, your sound mixing is awful.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I have to turn this fuck down so that I can not have it be blowing out my ears.
Yeah, Jesus. I had to alt-tab fucking Darktide, and that's like a recipe for fucking on crashing.
So I like your intro, friend, but this has taken already 30 seconds.
Yeah, too long.
Holy shit. It's cool, but at the same time, man, give me a little bit more here. And plus, it's too loud. Michael Wingman?
Welcome to Roll With Me. My name is Michael, and I have been absolutely fascinated with tabletop role-playing games since I was just a kid in high school, and oh my god, I'm almost 30.
Yeah, so
today I'm going to say a few things that may be a little controversial in the gaming community, but before we get into that, I'm going to take a minute and thank my sponsors, the people who make all of this happen.
Ooh.
Jetpack Comics and Games in Rochester, New Hampshire is just the coolest comic shop around. It is your one-stop shop for everything from gaming accessories to action figures and trade paperbacks and graphic novels and vinyl pop figures and literally everything that you could ever imagine the world's most awesome super comic book mega store having. Jetpack Comics has it all. They're awesome, super friendly staff.
All right, where's I just never heard of Jetpack Comics.
I was thinking something else.
No, I mean it's fine. It's a sponsor, sure. I just have never heard of Jetpack Comics ever, so it's cool to be sponsored by an actual comic store. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm just looking over their site really quick. They got a lot of stuff. Magic pre-releases. They got, Pokemon. It's a comic and card shop. It's cool. I don't know. Seems fine. Comics and games. Neat. How did he know I like TTRPGs? He's a wizard.
They're super, super helpful. Everybody that works there knows everything about every kind of game or comic you could ever possibly want to look at. So give them a call at 603-330-X-Men or check them out at jetpackcomics.com.
Okay. Why man, what a strange thing to hear. A fucking phone number.
Yeah, who the fuck uses phones?
Whoa. Wow. Hold on. If that's the case,
their PO box so I can mail them?
Yeah.
That's mean.
I just it's crazy. Okay, it's New Hampshire.
No.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know it was a New Hampshire based place. That's cool. Well, hey, good on Jetpack Comics. Giving out their phone number to
I guess an internet man.
I guess they do deliveries across the country, I would assume. Okay.
Fucking run your comic books to you.
Hey, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
In service with a pant and a wheeze.
That's a very strange way to put that.
And while you're on the web surfing for local business.
Okay, it's already it's bugging me, and I have to say it. It's already a thing.
The buzzing.
Yep, you hear it too. It's the buzzing.
Yeah, I hear it too now.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one, but I'm sorry, everybody. There's going to be a slight buzz, and if you don't hear it, I'm happy for you.
We do, and we're not happy for ourselves.
Yes. I know we just started, but I like this guy's style. Oh yeah, he's cool.
Businesses that may carry gaming accessories, why don't you check out my website at www.mossfootcustoms.com. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram at Mossfoot Customs. We make all sorts of crazy. I make all sorts of. I got some people that I work with that are super, super great. But I design all of these boxes. We're working on some new things like dice bags and a DM box suite. There's going to be all sorts of crazy, crazy stuff happening. Lots of giveaways going on, and just check us out on social media and buy the merch.
That's cool. Wait a minute. You keep telling me to go to other things, and I will. Mossberg, did he say?
Yeah.
Mossberg. I've already forgotten. Oh, shit. Well, maybe let's talk about it again.
Okay.
Nope.
So today, I'm going to tell you all why Monster of the Week and not Dungeons & Dragons is actually the greatest role-playing game of all time.
Okay.
Here we go. Thank you.
Comedy!
Didn't work.
That's some good tea. Now, before everybody in the community freaks out at me and curses my name forever, at the risk of destroying my career in the gaming world, I love Dungeons and Dragons. I do, and Pathfinder, and Numenera, and Star Wars RPG. I love them. They're awesome. They're games that I play. I've put more hours into Dungeons and Dragons than any other game I have ever played. But Monster of the Week just rules, and everybody's entitled to their own opinions. even if they're wrong. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about why Monster of the Week just takes the cake. Now, in case you were not already aware, Monster of the Week by Michael Sands is a fantastic role-playing game. It is super, super simple, and it is a lot of fun. It takes place in the real world, which is super cool. I mean, like, I guess if we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, we're trying to escape, but there's a lot of escapism here in this book. And I'm just going to read you the intro of this book. It is just pretty wild here.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Right off the bat, I'm sorry. I appreciate the passion that's obviously there. You know, I'll do the sandwich, right? The good thing, and then the good thing. So I appreciate your passion. Your passion is very good. And I'm sure that you know a lot about Monster of the Week and other games and tabletop role-playing games in general. I'm very put off by, and it's not like going off script, you know, and just saying things that come to mind, you know, off the top of your head kind of videos are a bad thing. They're not. What the fuck are we doing, right? We're doing a podcast. Yeah. That's what we do. But with our kind of thing, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
With this, it's you're presenting this already with that classic "don't hate me because I also still like D&D, I promise," which I'm already like, well, yeah. I'm sure you do. Like, this is the thing. Can we as a people get a little bit more, I guess,
less terrified of having an opinion?
Yeah, right? Like, stand up for your own opinion a bit more and have a little bit more confidence in it, right?
Yeah.
Now, I've also done this before in the past, and I'll probably do it in the future, so you can still give me shit for it if I do it, and I will gladly say, yeah, you're right, I should have more of a stronger position on this if I do. But if I don't, if I'm you know, a little bit less confident about that opinion, if I feel like I could be wrong about it, I'll probably do the same kind of thing. And that's what I'm getting from this, where it's like, you're not entirely sold on your own idea at the moment.
Yeah.
At least it doesn't feel that way so far. But again, passion is there. Your presentation of being a friendly person is very good. Like the off the top of the head thing is comforting in a way, right? You seem sociable and friendly, and people will be drawn in, but it feels like, I don't know, we're 3 minutes and 40 seconds into your 26-minute video on this, and I don't know, it feels like it's been longer, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of time skips, in fact. I really want to play Dwarf Fortress tonight, but it looks like it might be a Denny's night. All right, Lex. Dude, I was just literally thinking, like, not too long ago, I really want some waffles or some pancakes or something. I should do that. Unfortunately, I don't have a card to use for my money because somebody tried to use my card online in fucking Arkansas or something. And
Arkansas.
That's right. And got a fraudulent charge on it, so now it's locked out for me, and I'm waiting on my new card, which is great.
What'd they get?
They tried to get $100 on Walmart. I don't know what it was, but they tried.
Fucking broke ass bitch.
Dude, I don't know, man. It's crazy, but like, fucker locked my fucking card, so whoever they are, I hope they, you know, didn't get it, whatever it was.
Well, what if they needed it?
Too bad.
Yeah, that's true.
They stole my card.
Oh, they didn't steal your card.
They stole the information of my card.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tried to steal my money that I have been working for.
Yeah.
You know, it's anyway.
All right. What you've signed up for. When you play this game, most of you will create hunters, people who have devoted their lives to killing monsters. One player will be the Keeper. That's short for Keeper
Oh,
of
hey.
Monsters and Mysteries. The Keeper will be in charge of designing
Monster
monsters
Hunter.
and mysteries for the hunters to deal with, bringing the world to life, portraying the monsters, and the people the hunters meet. The rest of you will decide how the hunters work together to investigate the weird situations they find, slay the monsters causing the trouble, and save the people in danger.
Okay. Another thing. So you got a lot of empty space on your right there. I feel like maybe putting the page in the, just
On
like
the-
having
on the
it
thing.
highlighted text, something. I don't know when this was made. I don't know how long this guy's been doing videos.
This was made before the invention of cuts.
That's right. That's true. Adobe
In
Premiere
picture in
never
picture,
existed.
that's it.
That's right. That's right. But I'm trying to, like, there's not much that I can do right now. He's just reading off what the book is, which is fine. But again, there could be more that's going on visually that would help with learning, because again, you're trying to convince people that this is the best RPG. More that's there for us to see, to be convinced by would be good, right? I just think in general.
Your hunters aren't normal people. You're not even normal monster hunters. You're the ones who stand out, larger than life, and twice as badass. You can change the world, save it, destroy it, alter it forever. One way or another, you will make a difference. All right, so we've already arrived at one of the reasons that this game is my favorite game of all time. This book reads like a conversation. The whole book, as you're going through the descriptions of characters that you can play, or even the descriptions of monsters that you can make, everything that you read in this book feels like someone is talking to you in conversation. It feels easy to read and fun to read, almost like you're talking to Michael Sands himself, the creator of the game. And
it's
this
fucking Undertale.
already puts you in...
It's true.
God damn it. We're gonna have a bad time.
Apparently. Nothing against this. Sure, it's your favorite because of this. It reads. I guess it reads like a converse. It does read like somebody is telling me what's going on.
Oh, do you have the book?
I have a PDF of it. Yes.
Ah, okay.
I'll open it up and look at it myself again just to see if there's something that maybe, like, because I don't know. It's one of those things. This is absolutely preference, because either way works for me. Like a rule book that just says this is how things are is just fine to me, as well as like this going, you are, the one that stands out. You're the one who is actually the thing.
You're
in
the
this.
special one.
Yes, exactly.
Because you're not special in any other RPG.
No, never. No. Well, I mean, it's not, it's not doing anything like that,
what I
right?
mean.
But yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know, because then the next section literally says the game works best with 3 to 5 people. This is on page 13 of the and I'll even put it up on the screen. Why don't I do that? This is from page 13 of the core rule book, I guess, if you will. Let me find my PDF viewer. Here it is. And then we go here, and then we go Hua. There you go. So yeah, the game works best with zoom in. Sorry. There we go. 3 to 5 people with one of you acting as keeper. It works with more or less people too, but there will be a corresponding change to how much time each person gets in the spotlight. Make sure you have copies of the hunter's playbooks, enough hunter reference sheets to go around to keep your reference sheet. Like it does kind of blend both the personable, I guess, tone as well as your rule set. What I will say is the weirdness of the files you need can be downloaded from here, http://www.evilhat.com/home/monster of the week/ or from http://genericgames.co.nz, which I could click on a PDF, but if you're getting
really on a book,
if you're in a book, it's a little strange.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna type that in. No, just say go to Evil Hat and find, like, it's, if you go on Evil Hat's website, you will find this very easily. It's one of their top things. One of their only things that's there. And yeah, then it says also handy mostly for the keeper is a big list of names. That will be part of the game. I like to use the Story Games Names Project book, but a phone book or the cast and crew list of a film work just as well. Like, it is very much somebody talking to you, I guess. It's a little strange to me in some aspects, but it's fine, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing to write home about, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. I have conversations all the time.
I know, right? Me too. It's crazy.
I don't need to have a conversation with a book.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The trick is to be evil enough to get everything you own cursed, so if someone steals it, it won't end well for them. I could do that. That's true. I am pretty evil. I need friends for this. Damn. Well, to be fair, you can play pretty much anything, like, as a solo game. There are, like, solo
adventures.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
That'll work. I was gonna say modules, but
yeah, same.
That also works. But yeah, there are solo things like modules and adventures that are out there that you can use for a bunch of different systems. So
yeah, and they're essentially like pick your own adventure books, except you're still following the rules of the RPG.
Yes.
There are some that are for Call of Cthulhu, and there's also oh wait, no, that was an actual game, but the ones for Call of Cthulhu always have an alone in the title. So Alone Against the Flames, Alone Alone in the Dark, I think it is. I don't remember what the other one was.
Oh, like the game, Alone in the Dark.
Yeah.
And whatever happened to that? Remember that franchise? Alone in the Dark? It went really weird. And then it died.
Yeah.
Probably because of that. Cool, good to know. Yeah.
In a comfortable place. When you're learning Dungeons and Dragons, it can be extremely daunting. You look up on my shelf at all of the books that I have, and that doesn't even scratch the surface on all of the rules in Dungeons and Dragons.
But literally one of them is called the Starter Set and the Essentials Kit. Now, to be fair, Wizards of the Coast did some shit with that, where it's like, well, what, that one's essential? What? But even so, absolutely could argue that you only need one book.
Yeah, you need the player's handbook.
That's it. That's all you actually
the monster manual is helpful,
need.
But yeah, you don't need it.
Even in the back of the book for the player's handbook, there's some monsters.
That's true.
Like I'll literally
it's not much, but yeah, there are some.
I'm pretty fucking sure. Yeah, here we go. Page is 304 to 311. That's actually quite a few.
Yeah.
You've got a bunch of animals as well as some skeletons. An imp is in there, like pseudo dragons in there. Quasit, fucking.
Wow, there's a pseudo dragon in there.
Yeah, there's a pseudo dragon in there.
Seems like
zombies.
Kind of a random one to have in there, but hey, that's pretty cool.
But like, the player's handbook literally has so much of the shit that you need in one book.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Literally, because once you know how monsters are constructed, it's not that hard to make your own.
It's true. So
now you won't make them balanced, but
potentially
you can make them.
Exactly. Like that is everything you need right there. If you don't know anything at all and you only need one book for D&D, it's that one. So yeah, even though there's a lot of content out there, I'll give you that. Not all of it is essential. In fact, I would argue that most of it is not. Destiny Quest is also a good set of self-contained solo RPG books. Oh, okay, there you go. Nice. Thank you, Sly.
Monster of the Week can be played. Of course, Dungeons and Dragons can be played with as little as a player's handbook.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Well,
Well,
okay. Well, good.
I wasn't
good.
paying attention. I killed a rager. What?
No, he's good. He said you can play it with just the player's handbook. Good. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
A Dungeon Master's Guide or just Dungeon D&D Beyond. Now that is an awesome thing that's out there. But Monster of the Week can be played with just the first book. There are expanded classes in the Tome of Mysteries, the second book that's come out in the series.
So you just, but you just admitted that also D&D can be done that way with just the player's handbook. You did say also the Dungeon Master's Guide, which again I wouldn't say so. No.
Yeah.
But you've already okay. If your position is you need the player's handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide, I guess you haven't destroyed your point, but
yeah, not quite.
I will.
There,
yeah, it's.
Quite.
I will say you don't need the Dungeon Master's Guide. So, anyway, a video game for D&D that can run solo stuff with sprite graphics would be a dream come true. Yeah, just to like have that possibility, like the endless possibilities of D&D in a video game that you could do solo.
I swear to God, I don't remember what the hell it was called, but I'm pretty sure that there was one of those games where it's like Divinity. It's kind of like that,
right?
Where there was like a dungeon master mode.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that was?
I don't, but I know what you're talking about. I think we talked about this before, even.
So I think there is one of those kinds of games out there, but I don't know what the hell it's called.
Yeah.
But you just need the Monster of the Week book. The first half is all about playing the game. The second half is about running the game. So if one person around the table has the core rule book, this tiny little Monster of the Week book, which is full of fun illustrations and graphics, and it's just a lot of fun.
Graphics?
But you can.
Technically, right? But like,
yeah, it's a graphic novel.
That's right. Sword Coast Legends. Is that it?
That doesn't exist.
I don't.
Was that?
Was it the one that they did for like Critical Role that one time?
That's Explorers of Wildemount, I think.
No. Just they played a game that was that's had a Dungeon Master mode that Matt ran, I think, quote unquote.
Oh, I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about this. I don't know. Somebody could figure it out. I don't think it's Sword Coast Legends.
Fact check for us. We're too lazy for that.
Well, also, it's a vague memory with these games that exist. Like some of them exist, right? And
this is what happens when you have 3,000 games.
Hey, man. And also, the only other one that's coming to my brain is Dungeon Master, right? That 3-player against 1 Dungeon Master, quote unquote, game, but that's a different thing entirely. And you can't play that anymore because they closed the thing. It's not Pillars of Eternity, no. Also a good game though. That book didn't look tiny to me. Yeah, that's the other thing. That book looks about the same size as the player's handbook. In fact, let me tell you how many pages I got in that. 322.
Damn.
Which actually is more than the player's handbook, including its appendices.
Damn.
316 at the very edge. I guess if we count the character sheet, that's 18, 19, and then a what comes next, which could potentially be a 20, but it doesn't really apply. Because it's just like, hey, there's more stuff. Get the starter set. So, technically, about the same. So, interesting. It's just one of those interesting points.
Ostensibly play with just one book around the table, and it's not hard. It's not daunting. You don't have to pass it around as much. The rules are much simpler, much more streamlined, and that's because it takes place in the real world, right? In Dungeons.
No.
There's nothing. Being set in a different world has nothing to do with the rules density.
Nothing at all. It's just the way that it's constructed.
Yeah.
It's the way that they made the system. That's it. Neverwinter Nights lets you make DM stuff? Really? I didn't know that.
Oh.
That's cool. I own Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah,
That's
same.
not surprising. But Oh, you do too? Oh,
I remember when we played with Brogan and there
That's
was fucking
right.
pirates and shit. Remember that?
That's right. Yeah,
There's fucking pirate gangs.
That was cool.
That was, yeah. That's all I remember from it. Was fucking
About
me
it,
saying pirate gangs over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah. But yeah, so setting does not mean simplicity.
Yeah,
it's just
look at Call of Cthulhu. That's set in the real world.
Set in the real world. I guess what his argument would be it's history, but even then I would be like, well, it was simpler, I guess.
Yeah, and the real world's not all that simple, buddy.
It's not.
Trust me.
It's not.
Like, doing just a little bit of research into trying to make shit realistic, you'll find that this shit ain't simple.
I'm literally, I got inspired to start, like, actually world building again, and, like, I'm looking into, oh yeah, and I'm looking into, like, how big Africa is, and how long it would take for you to walk from tip to tip, basically, and that's 2 years. That's 2 years.
2 years?
2 years to walk tip to tip, basically, yeah.
Woo!
Cairo to somewhere in South Africa, I think.
Oh, like Cape Cod, I think it is?
Cape Cod's north.
Or is that in America?
Here. Yeah, that's America, I believe.
What the
Is Cape Canaveral?
Is that it? Maybe that's it.
I don't know.
I know it's another cape that has the second part of
CC,
it with a C.
Yeah. Alliteration in a way. But yeah, so, and then I think the entire continent of Africa is 11.36 million million miles squared, I think it was, something like that.
Oh, I was about to say, it's not 11 million miles long.
No.
Like,
for the area.
Yeah.
Cape Hope. There you go. Thank you, Slay. Cape Hope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's from the southern tip, I believe. It's in South Africa. I know that much. Cape Town? I don't know. Maybe. I think it might be Cape Hope. Regardless, you can find it by literally looking up how long does it take to walk across all of Africa.
Yeah.
And it will tell you 2 years, and it will tell you point to point. And in fact, I'll do that right now. What am I talking about? I'm stupid. I'll just do that right now. How long does it take? I have the internet to walk.
Yeah, we're on it.
Across Africa. Well, this didn't. It didn't give me the same result as it did the first time I did it, so now I don't know.
Oh.
Cape Town. There you go. I found it. We're good. Cape Town to Cairo. There it is. Anyway. There's your fun fact, everybody. That's a thing. Anyway.
Dragons or Pathfinder or Numenera, you're working with a fantastical realm, the rules of which are defined by a series of long books or blog entries or you name it.
So the rules of your world in Monster of the Week are defined by your one long book.
Yeah.
Or you could get blog entries that are online. Like, if we want to go specific settings in D&D, then yeah, they require their own book because they're not in the player's handbook. But the player's handbook can be used for literally any setting.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's
and
the point.
Really, the only thing with different settings is if they have like potentially functionally different rules or different races that then have different rules. You need those details. Like,
exactly.
What is it? Kryn and Ansalon. Ansalon. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's not like it's, it's got like fluff in it for anything really. Even the flavor text is there for, like, it's technically fluff, I guess, but it does tell you something about like what's good, like the things that are there, right?
Yeah.
Except I think the player's handbook doesn't have as much flavor text as I'm thinking.
It really doesn't. It's basically just rules.
Yeah, it is mostly just rules. Now, would I say that to a newcomer, to the two in front of them, Monster of the Week and D&D 5e, those two, like the player's handbook specifically, and then this core rulebook, which one would be more digestible for them? I would say Monster of the Week. Absolutely.
Probably, yeah.
But that's, again, because it was written that way, right?
Yeah.
And regardless of that, the player's handbook isn't that hard to get down once you read it. Like, It's quite simple, in fact, at the end of the day. You don't really need to do, and I know everybody hates math, but you don't need to do a lot of it. It's very
it's really
simple.
Not.
Very,
not
very
to mention
simple.
that even if you don't like to do math, all the answers are right there in front of you.
It's true. It's really true. Your proficiency bonus, it literally gives you the formula, which is
gives you the chart. It's a very simple chart.
Yeah, it's incredibly easy. So, like...
incredibly inconvenient. I mean, super easy, barely an inconvenience. There
yes, exactly. And, like, the... In Monster of the Week, there's even some formulas, quote-unquote. They're not as big, but they're there. You know, they're there for you to... I'll see if I can find something here. Let's go to... Oh
my god, that's 3 Maulers.
Act under pressure. Yeah, okay. So, we go to help out the action here, and I'll bring it up. One of the things you can do in this is use the action or move help out, where you can give a +1 to a roll if you roll high enough, right? So on 10+, you get +1 to their roll. 7 to 9, you give them a +1 to their roll, but you expose yourself to danger. Everything below that, you're not going to give them a +1, right? It's a stressful situation. You get to add your cool to your 2 dice, your 2 d6s, and then that's it. You're good. So the cool is usually a value of -2 to +2, I believe, at the starting kind of point. You can raise it and such when you level up, quote unquote. And actually, I guess it is just leveling up. I don't remember. And that's already a formula there. Like it's your 2d6 plus cool. It's not that big of a formula, to be fair. It's less steps than calculating your spell attack DC. Sorry, your spell DC in general, which is 8 plus your proficiency plus your spell spell modifier from your stat, your spell stat, basically.
Yeah.
Which can vary, right? You have a lot more factors there. But again, that isn't as difficult because once you read the class, like you go and read Warlock, and it's like, your spell stat is Charisma. Okay. How do you get Charisma? Oh, it's your stat, which is 10, which means it's a 0, or 12, which is a 1, right? Like, and they have that table for you there in the beginning for you to kind of understand that. And if you don't take it all in, that's fine, right?
Yeah, you don't have to.
But it is there for you to reference, and if you don't have, people there, I guess, to also reference, then you can also look online. People have figured it out and said things and, all that kind of stuff in their blog posts, which I assume is also there for Monster of the Week, because if I were to search, in fact, how to calculate help out in Monster of the Week, we have revised help out. We have, can you use help out to give +1 to another hunter's roll on Reddit? You have videos. You have a forum. Like, it's all there.
Yeah, you got plenty of resources,
and they're both. It's there for both systems. So my ultimate point here is that nothing. Like, yes, it's a little simpler, but it's not as hard as it is being made out to be, I guess.
Yeah.
And then my earbud died. Science is failing me tonight. I'm sorry, Lux. You're going to have to listen to us out loud, and don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't be that person.
I'll get you on a watch list, probably.
Also true. But, plus for that D&D video game, they can make it so you can pick the version 1E all the way to 5E in the settings. Oh, for the fictional one that we want? Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be sick as hell, actually.
That'd be super cool, yeah.
Pathfinder,
then you have to
sometimes
kill Demogorgon with a 13.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, they have specifically Stranger Things version D&D.
Oh, God, I would hate that.
Kill me.
Right. In Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder or Numenera, you're working with a fantastical realm, the rules of which are defined by a series of long books or blog entries or you name it. In Pathfinder, sometimes it can feel like I'm doing a long-form calculus problem just to land a hit on a creature.
No, it's
too
not.
much.
Okay, I mean,
you roll a number, and then you add numbers and see if your number is bigger than their number.
Right.
Done.
In comparison to Monster of the Week and D&D, Pathfinder is more complex. Yes.
I guess marginally, yeah.
It is. I would say it's a lot more complex, in fact.
Oh, you think? Okay.
Yeah, just because there's a lot more to keep track of, right? You have a lot more things.
You know what? Fair enough. I guess with all the buffs and shit.
Yeah, exactly. And but it is nowhere near that difficult. Let's just stop with this.
It's not a long form calculus problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little difficult sometimes, sure, but it's one of those things where you figure it out one time, you write it down, and you're done. We talked about this literally when we talked about it was, oh god, it's been so long since, but when we talked about Puffin Forrest's video on it, where he was going on and on in his joke about how you have to add a +2 or a -2 because of the shield and all that kind of shit. It's like, no, you write it down one time, you're done. It's on your character sheet. That's it. You don't have to worry about it. All right. Half of my mind power goes into thinking of games that may or may not get made. That's fair, Timothy. No worries.
Many numbers. It's crunchy, right? For me, at least.
Oh, there's the word. Crunchy.
I mean, maybe I have a little smooth dum-dum brain, but
No, you don't. Okay, let me put this right here, right now for you. I believe that you are smart. I believe that you are intelligent enough to read and understand Pathfinder because you already have. I know it for a fact. Okay, don't put yourself down to that degree.
Big fucking assumption, aren't you?
Yes,
I'm not trying to be mean. It's just like, are you assuming this man's intelligence?
That's right. I am assuming that this man is intelligent enough to read D&D or to read Pathfinder or all that stuff and understand it. Because I believe
that's not
everyone
very inclusive to dumb people.
That's true. But I believe that everyone is able to. Okay? I'll go out on the record here. I'll shout it from the rooftops. You can put it on Twitter that I believe that everyone can understand D&D and Pathfinder and everything else if they just give it a little time.
You heard him. Go ahead and make a few dozen verified TableTalk. Just pay $8 to make a verified post. So
oh God!
Shit.
That's
Did you see the Ackman's video on that, by the way?
I haven't yet. No.
It's really good.
I'm excited. But yeah, so it's you're fine. Please. I believe in you. You should believe in yourself.
Monster of the Week is so playable. All you need are 2d6s.
The
reason we only need these 2d6s
there are other games that use 2d6s, though.
There are games that use 1.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't...
There are games that use no dice.
That's true. That's actually very true.
Yeah. One of them is Paranoia, and then the other one is really interesting. It's called, what is it called? Dust and Dragons. Westbound. Dust and Dragons. It's a Western fantasy.
Ooh, cool.
And you play using playing cards.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's wasn't Blades in the Dark? Didn't that not have dice? That wasn't a thing with dice, right?
No. I think they used D6s.
Did they?
I think so.
I can't remember entirely, but fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Pathfinder isn't Final Fantasy VIII. No, it is not. No, it is not.
Thank God.
I remember. No.
Success to failure mechanic is so much more grounded and realistic than any other game, and it makes a lot more sense. Instead of rolling a d20 and adding a proficiency bonus and a modifier and doing some other precise calculations to see if you succeed.
No, sometimes it's just that. Please, keep putting D&D down to try to bring your thing up. That's good.
Or fail and no other option. This is more of a...
Dude, okay.
No,
okay. Wait a minute. Wait. You're now saying I will play it in full. Calm down.
much more grounded and realistic than any other game, and it makes a lot more sense. Instead of rolling a d20 and adding a proficiency bonus and a modifier and doing some other precise calculations to see if you succeed or fail and no other option, this is more of a sliding scale. It's a little more grounded.
Okay. All right.
Okay, if you play D&D exactly, perfectly, rules as written, maybe.
I need to now make double certain that that's rules as written, because I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, right?
I don't know about that. Now, let me
Because, most of the time, the book will tell you, it's like, oh, if you roll under this, you failed the check.
That's true.
And they don't really go into it, but come on.
That is true. Now. Yes, okay. So in the skills in Rules as Written 174, you have ability checks, which has your DCs of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, right? And those you need to match, and it says, roll, add modifier, creature overcomes the challenge.
Do precise calculations, of course.
Do precise calculations. Otherwise, it's a failure, which means the character or monster makes no progress toward the objective, or makes progress combined. Or makes progress combined with a setback determined by the DM.
Okay, never mind then.
It's literally in the book that you can still fail forward, regardless. It's right there. It's the DM's option for that. I didn't even know that it was that. It's not. Oh god, it doesn't tell you like. There's degrees. No. It just says even so, your DM can say no. You still get through. It's just there's a consequence.
So now, what book was that?
This was the Player's Handbook, in fact.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say, like, if that's the DMG.
I believe, if I recall correctly, the DMG even, like, does say that you can have degrees, but I might be wrong on that. Let me make doubly sure, in fact, triply sure about that. Let's see if there's an index that says skills. Okay, skills. 239 is my first option in the DMG. 239. What do we got here? It's your job to establish the difficulty class for an ability check or saving throw when a rule or an adventure doesn't give you one. Sometimes you'll even want to change such established DCs. When you do so, think of how difficult the task is by picking the associated DC on the typical DC's table. 5, 10, 15, 20... This is on page 238. Let's see. If you decided that an ability check is called for, most likely the task at hand isn't a very easy one. Most people can accomplish a DC 5 task with little chance of failure, unless circumstances are unusual. Let characters succeed at such a task without making a check. Okay, this one doesn't actually go into it, as far as I can see from this section, which is interesting. So even the DMG itself is a little less on that. But it's in the Player's Handbook, which is the important part.
Yeah, again, that's the common book.
Yes, and again, it's the one that the only one that you absolutely need. Oh, sorry. 242. Resolution and consequences. Success at a cost.
Okay.
And degrees of failure. These are things. Sometimes, so success at a cost, failure can be tough, but the agony is compounded when a character fails by the barest margin. When a character fails by only a 1 or 2, you can allow the character to succeed at the cost of complications or hindrances. It gives you a bunch of examples. When you introduce costs such as these, try to make them obstacles and setbacks that change the nature of the adventuring situation. In exchange for success, players must consider new ways of facing the challenge. You can also use this technique when a character succeeds on a roll by hitting the DC exactly, complicating marginal success in interesting ways. And then degrees of failure. Sometimes a failed ability check has different consequences depending on the degree of failure. For example, a character who fails to disarm a trap chest might accidentally spring the trap if the check fails by 5 or more, whereas the lesser failure means the trap wasn't triggered during the botched disarm attempt. Considering adding similar distinctions to other checks, perhaps a failed charisma persuasion check means a queen won't help, whereas a failure of 5 or more means she throws you into the dungeon for impudence. And the degrees of failure then also implies degrees of success, right? You've got inferences you can make, and again, the player's handbook even says go fucking for it. So, read your player's handbooks, people.
Yep.
Is the lesson.
Haven't been able to say that one in a while.
Not really. It's good when it comes out.
Yeah.
You roll your 2d6s, you add a small bonus that depends on which playbook you start with, which stat block you start with, and we'll get into a little bit more of that in a bit.
So you have to do complex calculations?
No.
That's pretty complex, man. He's having to add a number to a number.
No.
That's what he had an issue before.
No. You have to add multiple numbers in D&D. It's bad when you do that.
Oh.
So if somebody uses the help out action and gives you a +1, well, now you're fucked. What do you do?
Yeah, now that's too complex for me. Come on now.
Obviously a joke, but like, come on. Like, it's...
Yeah, no, like, it's a joke.
I know.
But
I know.
yeah.
Reading is good for you, kids. Yes. Read.
You roll your 2d6s. On a 10+, you do exactly what you set out to do. On a 7 and 9, you get what is called a mixed success, right? And you can take the keeper will give you a choice to pay, or a price to pay, a choice to make, or a worse outcome. And then below the 7 is a failure and something goes terribly wrong, right? But this gives us a little more interesting options, right?
So, vampire, right? Let me just talk about one of my favorite TTRPGs, in fact. Vampire has this lovely little system where you put in when it's complex. Let's start there. It's complex. Yeah. But the addition of dice that you use isn't. You succeed on 6s and ups if you get a pair of 10s on your d10s. Then you get 2 successes. If you get 1s, they are critical failures. And if you have hunger die, it can be incredibly bad. Now, there's a lot of degrees here of failures and successes that you can do. You can even do the same things of like giving an option of succeeding but with a cost. It even explicitly says you can do that in the core rulebook for Vampire, 5th edition. And the thing that I'm kind of more so in favor of with Vampire is the fact that the critical success, quote unquote, or critical failures, excuse me, quote unquote, they aren't really a thing unless you are like unless your hunger die.
You're thirsty.
Yeah, unless your hunger die is in play and it does something, right? That's when it's a really bad thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, it is just a failure.
Yeah.
Now, or success or whatever. And that's what adds that kind of element of it being more, I guess, chaotic in a way and more interesting, because even so, even the fact that you might have 2 hunger die, they could both roll like 3 or a 6 and they'll still succeed.
You could be okay.
And they're fine, right? Exactly. But even if you fail with those, even if you didn't get one of them to be a 1, you still just fail, and there's no real bad consequence, like to a degree of it being, oh my god, right? But you do have a failure. Yes. And I'm more pro there being a failure that isn't like horrible.
Yeah.
Whenever you fail, then there being a failure that seems like, at least from what he's saying, and from what I gather from the rulebook itself, it seems like every time you just fail, you fail more catastrophically than often or than not. At least that's what it seems like with the wording, and what he's saying in the video. Now, I might be off base on that. It might just be how people run it. But if we're going by rules as written, as we seem to be, then I think there's something to be said of the fact that it seems like horrible failures are very common.
Yeah, because one of the things that I remember from the guy that I never mentioned, he played a lot of Cyberpunk 2020, like, when that was the future,
right?
And in that system, you rolled D10s, and if you rolled a 1, it was a botch.
Yes.
So you had botches popping up all the time.
All the fucking time.
Because that's a 1 in 10.
Yes.
And then botches being too common can be funny for a time.
Yes.
But that will not last.
No. Well, so
especially.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
Because the problem with botches is that most of the time, hopefully, they're entertaining, but other times they can absolutely destroy the game.
Yes. Depending on the situation, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I mentioned how Vampire does its. I briefly mentioned, in fact, how Vampire does its calculations of this dice that you can use. So the way that it does it, for those of you who don't know, is you take an attribute and you take a skill, and then you add the two dice pools together. So attributes are mind, body, and
mental? Oh no.
It's mental, body, and I want to say like social. Those are the three kind of attributes, I believe, and each of those has their skills underneath it. Now there are many skills, and then 3 attributes for each of those categories. But many skills for each of those categories as well. And you can mix and match depending on situations, whatever your storyteller wants to use, right? And let's say we're in a combat, right? Something that you don't want to be in regardless of being a vampire usually. But let's say you're in a combat and you're using a gun to shoot somebody, right? You use dexterity plus firearms. Let's say that. Now, you have up to, I believe, 5 dots in each skill and attribute. And however many dots are in those for each of those things, that's how many you use for your dice pool. And you can get more or less depending on circumstantial things, right?
Oh my fucking God.
It's a lot of math, right? A lot of like you already gotta figure out how many dice you have. Oh. And then you got to figure out how many are successes by 6 and up. And then it's like, oh my God. And then, depending on how many successes you have, depends on if you beat the DC, basically. But, yeah, so you literally just go and look at it, and it's like, oh, I have 4 in dex and like 2 in firearms. Okay, so now I have a 6 pool. Great. So I roll all 6 of my D10s, look for 6s, and look for 1s, basically, and 10s. That's it. Anything above 6 is great. Anything below 6, not so great. And then you count up how many are like that. And then you're like, all right, here we go. And then you account for which one's your hunger die if you fail, really. But yeah, so it's a little more complex, sure, but it gives you a lot more, what feels like to me,
more wiggle room.
Yeah, more wiggle room, more interesting things to happen, because even with those failures, you can still fail forward, and like it doesn't feel like you're going to be completely screwed over all the time if you do fail. And can that also be said for D&D? Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, you can run it the exact same way, because the player's handbook and the DMG are like, go for it.
Yeah.
So all this to say, Monster of the Week isn't doing anything new in that regard.
Yeah.
In that regard. It is very simple with its 2d6 though, and that can be very nice for the brain. I'll give you that.
When you go to stake a vampire through the heart, you can either, get him right in the heart, and that's that, right? Or you get the mixed success, and maybe you get him but not in the heart, right? Or you get him but he hurts you a little bit more when he fights back. All sorts of different opportunities and possibilities. It makes for this really wild collaborative storytelling effort between the keeper and the players. It's even more collaborative than Dungeons and Dragons, where you have the dungeon master doing most of the work. The keeper, in fact, really doesn't have to do a ton of work here. It is...
Well, so again, it depends on how you DM. Right?
Yeah, it depends on how you DM, and it depends on the world that you're running it in. And yeah.
Even with like your vampire situation, you could probably have something similar happen in D&D, and also you could probably so the way that you could do it in Monsters of the Week would probably depend on how much it makes sense in the moment, right? Of like what happens. So your possibilities are a little more limited than you like in every kind of game. There's a little more limitation in what happens immediately. Because of just, I don't know, reality, right? And the situation that you're in. And like, yeah, there's an infinite amount of possibilities in every TTRPG. That's a given. That's a fact in most cases. But in specific situations, you're not going to have as much. And that's fine. But the way that you got there is because of your infinite possibilities, right?
Yes.
And that's what matters. You may have to be... Oh, sorry. You have to be a master of mathematics to be a dungeon master. That's one of the hidden skills. That's true.
Oh, Christ.
That should have been one of the bullet points, but it never will be. Not anymore.
It's a matter of setting up a mystery and setting up a monster in either a real life place or a very realistic place that you've created. For instance, when I ran a campaign of Monster of the Week, I created the fictional town of Raven Creek, California, and sort of designed. I took a couple of nights and I designed how many people lived there and came up with some of the characters that might live there and the businesses that were there, and drew a little map on some graph paper. And colored it in, and then brought it in the next week, and the party suddenly had all the materials that they needed to go about making an incredible story akin to shows like The X-Files or Supernatural or Buffy the Vampire Slayer or The Dresden Files.
Those are all specific examples in the book itself to say like what the feel is going to be.
Oh, I see.
So it's just I just want to point that out really quick, but also it gives you that feel of this is absolutely a one-shot machine, like this system, right? Which again, it's fine, absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing one-shots, but when that's the main focus and it's kind of what the game is geared toward, it does kind of lose out on, the possibilities of campaigns, because it's the same thing with D&D. When you have D&D, you tend to play that medieval high fantasy stuff. Yeah. That's the popular thing.
Yeah. And like, not to say that you couldn't do a full campaign with Monster of the Week. You absolutely could. The rule set is probably able to do that, but it is absolutely geared, as given by the examples, it is geared towards being, as the name is, a Monster of the Week encounter kind of game, because those shows are literally what happened today. There's a thing in the town, let's go get it, right? Usually there are overarching storylines, I will give you that as well, and you could also do that in Monster of the Week in your campaign. Like, overall, if you want everything to tie together, like, oh, we caught the ghost over here who's actually connected to the man that's in the town over there that's trying to mind control everybody for some reason, right? Like, you can absolutely do something like that, and it's the aliens all along, wah! Right? Totally a thing you could do. It's one of those things that you just kind of have to work at, right? A little bit. Is Monster of the Week the basis for an X-File, the best for an X-Files type game? Probably. Well, so
that or Delta Green.
Right, yeah, that's the other thing. I would say personally, Delta Green is more equipped for that because it has more options for being an FBI agent. In fact, specifically, if you want that kind of experience, like, it is geared toward that. Whereas Monster of the Week has this inherent rule set that has it so only one person can be each kind of class.
what?
Yes, that is a thing. It's so that nobody.
Wait. In what? Sorry.
In Monster of the Week.
That's so weird.
It's fine in a sense. It's just one of those things that you take one role and that's it. Doubling up is possible, sure, but it's one of those things where you really feel samey unless you do something entirely different. By that I mean you have like 4 options that you can choose from for some things, and then 4 options for another like trait, and then you can get more when you level up, but you mostly stick to those options mostly. So after a while they could be very similar, but again, not to say that you couldn't do the same thing in D&D like that, right? You could have 2 bards the same way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not a knock, it's just the way that they want to have it be, where nobody's stepping on each other's toes and being like the same person in a way.
Yeah.
Which I can totally understand, and it's just the way that it is, right? But yeah, so if you want to do an X-Files type game, I would highly recommend Delta Green. Go. It's not great, but go watch our Project Astatine playlist of Delta Green.
I'm about to surprise people maybe, but I've never actually seen X-Files.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
So, is that more of a horror thing?
Mm-hmm. So, it's basically a
more an investigative type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Then
Delta Green would be. Yes.
Yes, exactly. And it's the like branch of the government that's put under wraps basically, and goes out and deals with those kinds of aliens usually, and sometimes cryptid stuff, and sometimes just weird ghost shit and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Delta Green basically.
Yes. Yeah, that is absolutely, because I was trying to think, it's like, oh well, I mean, Delta Green is mostly horror. So I was like,
Yeah. Side note, I do know something like Starfinder would be the best for a Star Trek type game. Well, there's a Star Trek TTRPG.
Traveler.
And Traveler. Yep, Traveler's also good.
It would be Traveler.
There's many for it.
In Traveler, you don't have,
in Starfinder, you have magic. You don't want magic in
you've
Star
got
Trek.
magic, and you've got lots of more fantasy stuff in
it.
Whereas Traveler's all tech.
Yes.
And you can be a psionic, and then me and Alejo tend to have a disagreement about psionics being magic, but let's not get into that right now.
I think
that's not the point.
I think it's magic in Warhammer, absolutely. But with
in Warhammer,
yeah. But with other games, sometimes it's more of a genetic base, right? If it's a genetic base, it's less. It's weird.
Yeah.
Right?
See, the way I rationalize it is, if you're using magic, you're using something to shape a force outside of yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas a psionic, the force of a psionic comes from their mind, not from the weave or the warp or anything like that.
Sure, yeah. Okay. That's fair.
So, yeah, that's how I justify it. And it usually winds up being a genetic mutation.
Yeah, something like that.
As opposed to something that you can just learn. That's another big distinction.
Yeah.
Because, in Star Wars, you got to have a lot of bacteria.
That's right, you do.
You got to have a lot of midichlorians.
That's true.
You're not just born with them. I love whipping that bullshit out.
It's so dumb.
So stupid.
Anyway.
I
forgot Traveler. Yeah, exactly.
Or all of the other awesome shows that I really like. Actually, playing a session of Monster of the Week plays a lot like an episode of one of these television series.
Yeah, there it is.
It gets its name from the trope of Monster of the Week, the old school Doctor Who, where every week the Doctor would encounter some new problem that arises. In Supernatural, the first 3 or 4 seasons at least, the Winchester brothers would encounter a new monster and do their research on it and study it and follow it, and by the end of
the best parts of Supernatural where they actually do the fucking hunting jobs.
Now, to be fair, I did still like the season where they're like dealing with the devil and all that.
Oh, sure,
yes.
yeah. It was still fun, but like,
yeah, it kind of lost its identity.
Yeah, it definitely became something else.
Yeah,
very quickly.
Oh yeah, and then it just went downhill from there.
Oh yeah,
which is very sad because I liked that show. Oh,
yeah, me too. Everyone did. Some people still do, for some reason.
Yeah.
The episode, they track it down and take it down and save the day. Move on to the next week where it's another mystery. That's exactly what these sessions feel like. And to that end, you can play a session of Monster of the Week that's 2-3 hours with a couple of people and have that be it.
There you go.
Conversely, you can run a Monster of the Week campaign that can go for months and months and months. That's what my friends and I did starting a couple years ago. We started this Raven Creek campaign, and it started out with maybe a werewolf here, a Wendigo there, a vampire here and there, right? And it turned into this massive arc. You can build these villains, these series.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. It's just like the shows, basically, where you have everything is connected, quote unquote, so that you can It makes sense that you could do that. It feels like the framing is more you will learn a little bit about the big bad, quote unquote, at the end of the episode, right? Or sometime in this one session, and then you'll get to the final act where it's the finale of your season, right? Which is, again, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just what it feels like. One of my favorite Monster of the Week type shows off the top of my head is Ultraman. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Arc villains that it is their duty now, while they're discovering new monsters every week, maybe uncovering a little bit more about the greater mystery, right? It is so much easier to write a campaign in Monster of the Week than in Dungeons of Dragons, because you're basing things on real-world lore and real-world places and real-world rules. I mean, you can have your monsters.
So you can use reality in D&D. Like, it's something you can base things off of to make it so that it works better for you. You do have to account for magic and such, yes, which does make it more complex, sure. Or you can have a less magical campaign, like low fantasy. D&D has this thing where you can do a lot of stuff with it.
Yeah, I can do everything.
A lot of stuff. Crazy. But I mean, I guess if we want to be very, very reductive, it is much, I guess not very reductive, but just general. It is much easier to write a Monster of the Week campaign, sure. Because you don't need to do as much unless you want to create custom stuff. In which case you now have to fit something into a town and then make a whole town, and
build your monsters. You don't have to rely on stat blocks and buying all of these different books to find the stats of the monsters and how many hit points they have.
What if I like the books?
Dude, what is this argument? You don't have to do that anyway. You just don't have to buy the books anyway. Like, it's just it's not something you have to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you I saw a Wizards of the Coast book, I need to buy it.
Right? I have to buy it.
It's like, what are we trying to appeal to here? You don't. If I want to know how much health the Sphinx has, I'm gonna figure that out on my own if I don't care enough to go and buy a book that's like $60. Okay.
Yeah. Not to mention, the internet exists.
It does, and you even pointed it out before. And so the other thing is, I could easily say, well, for Monster of the Week, if I wanted to do a werewolf right? And there's no like werewolf option in the book itself. I don't know if there is or not, but regardless, the point still stands of if it has something that, or if it doesn't have something that I want, I could probably go online and also look into the forums and stuff and see if somebody's made one that I can just go yoink. Yeah. D&D can do anything, but people tend to forget silly humans. Yeah, it's one of those things where, again, I think this is mostly, at least the perspective that I'm getting right now is that they're just, and again, I'm glad that you find it to be your favorite game. That's not in question. You can absolutely have it be your favorite game. It's just when you're trying to argue that this is the best.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Right?
That's always the problem.
It's always the problem because you're coming from, this is my favorite thing, and I like it a lot because of these reasons, and not, these are better.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, they're not better. None of this is better than the other. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Let's be entirely fucking fair. No TTRPG is better than any TTRPG as long as it is one that functions and does the job of being a TTRPG. Like, that's it. It's the end of the day. It's just preference at that point.
It's one of the most preferential hobbies ever.
Exactly.
Because at least with like a video game, you can say that this game is bad because the graphics are like low quality, it stutters, it crashes. You know, there are things that make a game bad.
Yep.
Like a video game bad, or a movie bad, objectively bad.
Absolutely. And
but a tabletop RPG is what you make of it.
There are specific parts in it that could be improved, I suppose, that we can point to, right? But regardless of that fact, it still does work.
Yes.
Like, it's still...
And as long as it's something that works, it's something that even if there is an issue with something, the players can just say, let's either not use it or change it or whatever to make it work for us.
Yeah, it's the inherent way that these games are.
Yeah.
And, like, again, if we want to put things on an objective scale, it really depends on the scale that we want to use, right? I don't even know what I would try to use to say which one is the objectively best TTRPG. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, I don't think there really is a scale that would apply.
No, not that covers everything, because they go over different genres. They can be used for different settings. Like, there's so many factors. You've got people in general and how they interpret rules and everything, right? Like, it's again, an incredibly subjective fucking thing of what you like about this thing. But the thing is, at the end of the day, we all like the hobby. Like, it's fun, right? Like, it's fun to play pretend with your friends and make a little story with all these people, right?
Come on, it's more than just playing pretend.
No.
You're gonna make it sound fucking dumb.
I will. Because we're all big dumb babies, okay?
It's true.
But no, literally, it's a great hobby because you can explore like depth of ideology, of character, of everything possible in the real world and outside of it. Like, it is itself a vast. It's as vast as your imagination can make it, which is the best part. But none of that is that is the objective thing about them all. That is something you can do with all of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the setting. You could probably, well, I guess the limitation is, I guess, if it is a specific setting, in which case you can be limitless in that setting. What if instead we all went to space and it's like, well, okay, maybe, why not? Let's try it, I guess.
I like space.
Right? Like, but none
Dragon
of them
Ball did it. Should work.
Can, I guess if we wanted to, we could go from like fantasy games. Which one is the best one at representing fantasy? I don't know. Like, that doesn't, because there's so many different types of fantasy. Right, as well. We've got, so anyway. We want to keep appealing. If you want to have people just play the game, just say that you really like it and you think that it's your favorite, and then make the video that. Like, I understand you need the clickbait, but again, you're now actively trying to argue that this is better than D&D. You actively are.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Not everybody's gonna like the same things.
What if
again,
they do?
We can't. Well, I then could. This is the thing. If we wanna really compare, then we have to make a D&D game that is Monster of the Week, which is easy to do.
Yeah, that's fucking easy.
You could do that entirely. In which case, I would go, well, one is more complex than the other. That doesn't mean it's better or worse.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, we can't point to anything being better or worse. It's just what you prefer.
Yeah.
It's not like I can go and point to War of the Planet of the Apes and say, this is dog shit. This is a horrible movie. Don't watch it.
Well, I mean, you could.
Yeah, but I would highly recommend you don't if you want to, like, save yourself 2 hours and watch something better. Or play a game better. Like, play fucking Monster of the Week. Hell.
I think I'm in a party of people from... I'm in a party of people from The Witcher. Oh my god, I'll have to give you their names in a second. One of them is literally Geralt of Rivia.
Hell yeah.
Like, holy hell, good, congratulations on getting that name.
Yeah, really.
But
awesome.
Yeah, they all have these full names and they're all in the same strike team, so I think they're it's
That's
just a party
awesome.
of Witcher NPCs.
That's so good. I love that.
I've never played The Witcher, so the only one that I recognize is Geralt.
Fair enough, yeah.
And Yennefer and Trish, obviously.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, come on.
Is right, or how much experience points they give out. There is a whole separate simple mechanic for experience that gets doled out at every session. Leveling, don't even get me started. It's so much easier and way more fun than in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, whoa, way more fun!
More fun?
More fun, you say?
See, now, I tend to get a little bit, I tend to stumble with the leveling of 5e classes that involve spells.
Fair enough.
Because I never really remember, it's like, okay, so I get this spell, I have to replace it with this, and then I get a can't, you know. So, okay, I've got Geralt of Rivia, Connor McTavish, and Guinevere Fireheart.
Oh.
So I'm willing to bet these are all Witcher characters.
Potentially. Connor sounds familiar, but I don't know. And then Guinevere, I don't know either.
Yeah.
Connor
Guinevere, not Guinevere.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Connor McTavish, you say?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Maybe if I put Witcher.
Oh, that's so much better. Oh, thank God, Lasgun. Thank you.
No, that's Graham. Graham McTavish. And then what'd you say the other one was? Sorry?
Guinevere Fireheart.
Guinevere.
It's all with
Oh, that one comes up Guinevere Witcher. Hold on. Guinevere Fireheart. Why is there a naked person? What?
Well, it's Witcher, so.
Oh, well, no, it's a cart. I don't know. What the hell? Guinevere of Rivia, maybe?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Well, anyway, yeah. Regardless, yeah. So there's a little bit of stuff that you can do in the sense of like, craziness, or sorry, not crazy. Complexity, brain. Yeah.
In how you level up for D&D, and every class levels up differently, right? They have different features and feats and spells and all of that, right? I would, of course, point to each of those spellcasting sections for the spellcasters in 5e in their player's handbook sections. Each say basically like, you know, what you get in the beginning, and then on their tables they tell you how many spell slots you get and what spell, like how many spells you know. And then it's usually you have access to what is on your table, right?
Yes.
and that's it, right? It's
and I just for whatever reason that those tables they go over my head. For
absolutely
whatever reason.
fair.
I do not know why.
It is something that does happen. I can understand it entirely, and but
the thing is, even with that, I wouldn't call leveling up in D&D, even when I'm confused by what I get, I don't think it's bad or less fun.
That's the thing, right? When we say less fun,
that doesn't
or more fun, I'm like, well, okay, that's a weird appeal because that's that's person to person. Sorry, friend. There's you can't do that.
Some people like spreadsheets and stuff like that. Some people like it when it gets really crunchy like that. Yes,
absolutely true. And I would never say that 5e is that bad, that crunchy with it, right? Like no. It is nowhere near the point of it boring you, I guess, right? Because every level is pretty simple. You get like 3 or 4 things or none.
Yeah.
Right? And then so the leveling in, and I'll pull it up because I have the character playbook, and I'll even show you Billy. Show you on stream here, Billy. My ghost, my ghostman. Okay, so pull it up here. Yeah, the monstrous. Here we go. Okay, so I got Billy here. His real name is there, but he doesn't go by that, and nobody is supposed to know it. So don't you call him that. It's Billy. He's not cool with you. Don't you think that he's cool with you? He doesn't know you, all right?
Don't worry. I didn't think he was.
That's right. Anyway, so the way that you level up on the second page here, it has it right here. When you've filled all 5 experience boxes, you level up. Erase the marks and pick an improvement from the following list. You got improvements here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 improvements that you can do. And then after 5 times, you can get advanced improvements, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more choices here, at least for the monstrous, right? And some of these are literally just get a +1 in your stat, max of +2, right? So that you can only get up to +2 maximum from these kinds of improvements. These 2 are take another monstrous move, which is just these moves here that are stuff like being immortal, being incorporeal, being able to dominate people mentally, be able to negotiate by using the manipulate someone move on monsters to talk with them, maybe if they can talk, flight even, and one of them being gaining a haven, like the expert has with 2 options, which is its own thing. Take a natural attack that is on this page. A bunch of these natural attacks, like I have base magical force with 1 harm, magical close, which just means it is a close range magic attack that does 1 harm. And then adding +1 harm to the base there. And then there's take moves from another playbook, which just means there are other characters. You can take moves from any other character. Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very, very, very simple.
Yes.
And now, I'm sorry, but it doesn't immediately spark fun.
Yeah.
Because like, if the fun is you get something new, well, D&D has that too, right?
Yeah, and honestly, it has that in spades.
It does. You get a lot of new stuff. Most levels.
Yeah, because like the thing with this is that this seems like it's basically all stat ups.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 90% stat ups, and that's boring to me.
That's fair.
I want abilities. I want items. I want the ability to use different things and change the way my character plays.
Yeah, you can absolutely
just.
Excuse me. You can absolutely do that with this in the sense of getting moves from other playbooks, right? You can do that to a degree, but you don't get a lot of it, right? And again, I think it's fine. I think it is neutral, right? It is the way that it is, and you think it's boring. Now we have the spectrum here of the person in the video saying that it's fun. So we've already got it. That's already the point right there.
Yeah. Because if the majority of it is just the stat ups, yeah, I just like I leveled up, yay, I get a point, and that's it.
Exactly.
To me, it doesn't. To me, that doesn't feel satisfying.
And then what was his? I don't remember his other thing.
The stats of the monsters and how many hit points they have and what their CR is, right? Or how much experience points they give out. There is a whole separate simple mechanic for experience that gets doled out at every session. Leveling, don't even get me started. It's so much easier and way more fun than in Dungeons and Dragons.
Easier.
Okay. Yeah, easier. Yes, absolutely. Incredibly easy. Yes. 100%. But your fun aspect is not accepted. Sorry. Not inherent to it being simpler and easier. Sorry. Just isn't. One person's dream is another person's nightmare. Yes. 5-minute time skip. Now I can be a coherent, says Lux. What I say about psionics is that if it counts as magic, then a lot of stuff in Star Trek is magic. Right, exactly. But it's not, right? Let's be fair.
Yeah.
For Star Wars, though, the Force might count as magic, but everything else is pretty non-magical. I would
bacteria.
It is bacteria, yes, but I like before that, it was just weird religion, which was cool.
It's biomagic.
It's biomagic.
That's actually kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me think of Muscle Wizard. Remember him?
Oh yeah, there you go. Which is ironic because you would tend to think of Star Trek as being more grounded. Also, now that I've looked at Fatal, I don't want to hear anyone call 3.5 rules heavy. I still haven't looked into it. I will. I promise you. I will. My favorite levels in 3.5 are the ones where you get a new feat. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Being more fun is subjective, not fact. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That's the whole point, right? That's this whole video. It's like, well, okay.
And it's just
I'm glad you're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and what's funny is that really, if the title wasn't "This is the best," there wouldn't be any issue.
Well, so again, he is saying more fun, and he's saying better.
But the thing is that we only really have an issue with that because he's claiming that it's that way.
I would
it is the best because of that.
That's fair.
If he just said, I really like it and it's my favorite because of that.
Yes,
because
exactly.
I find it to
that's
be
the thing.
Fun.
If he was saying the same stuff, but instead of using better and best and more fun, he said because I like it and this is better for me, right? Like adding very simple caveats there would be better. Again, if the title was just the only thing that was changed, I'd still have problems because it's fair. You're making definitive claims. You are. It's just what you're doing. Stop. It's better for you. It's more fun for you, right? Same kind of thing.
And to that end, I forgot what I was talking about. Aliens.
Don't worry, we did too.
You can have your
Okay. Just all right. You were trying to say that experience was better because it's simpler and leveling is better because it's simpler. That's what you were trying to do. And I'm glad you stopped because you can't. I'm sorry.
To that end, I forgot what I was talking about. Aliens. You can have your monsters be aliens. You can bring
So you can even D&D. Have you heard of the
there
GIF?
are plenty of alien species in D&D.
Have you heard of the GIF? Have you heard of the Illithid? Have you heard of the Star Spawn? Have you heard?
Well, technically, the Illithid are extra-dimensional. They're not aliens.
Like, it's just...
I know. Sorry, I had to do it.
No, not you. I'm just thinking in general. It's just like this whole thing of you can have everything be. It's like, come on.
Yeah, right.
What a weird appeal.
What I mean, who's to say that fucking angels aren't aliens?
Exactly.
That'd be sick as hell. Actually, could you imagine? That'd be a great twist.
Well, you joke, but like everything is connected technically by the astral plane.
Oh, I know.
All
but
different
the astral
planes,
plane,
right?
Isn't the astral plane? That's not space. Isn't that like a big like? I thought it was a big ethereal like magical place.
The astral plane is totally space and also weird.
Oh.
I think, unless I'm...
Yeah, I was always under the impression
mistaken.
the astral plane was not space, and that space was its own thing.
You know, I might be mistaken, and I'm willing to be wrong.
Because then the Gith wouldn't be... Then they would be astral beings.
Well, they are technically from the astral plane.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure about that one.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's why they're alien.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Space hippos, man. What's next? Fucking weapon dealing orangutans?
Yes. Hadozi.
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say the Jokero.
Oh yeah, that's right. But like, they literally the Gith Zerai, the monk ones, they have found.
Oh,
yeah.
You're saying Gith. Yeah. I thought you meant GIF. The hippos.
Oh no.
With the guns.
No, those
are space aliens.
Sorry. Yeah. No. The Gith are
the Gith Zerai and Gith Yankee.
Yes. Yeah, they're from the astral plane, and they're technically they're aliens.
They are from the same plane as Illithids.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, I thought...
And they're the ones that they're the ones that they enslaved.
I thought that they were from the astral plane.
Nah, I don't believe so, no. Unless that changed.
I don't know. Let me check.
Yeah.
This is now important research.
Yes.
Gith origin. Not goth, no. Race of humanoids who had been enslaved by mind flayers for countless generations. Once Forgotten Realms wiki, sure, this will be good enough. Homelands, astral plane, limbo, wild space. What the fuck are those?
So the astral plane is obviously the astral plane.
Yeah, I've never heard of wild space. That one's new to me.
Yeah, that one's new, but I do know limbo. That's what I'm familiar with.
Oh, it's from a Spelljammer and Monstrous Manual from TSR in 1993.
Okay, so that is out of date then.
Yes. But yeah, I remember them now being astral, though I don't know if that's specifically where they're from or if that's just where they have ended up.
Yeah, because I was familiar with them being from Limbo, and basically Limbo is kind of like... Yeah, you know Limbo.
Yeah, I might have been mixing it up with Limbo, to be fair.
Wait, what are you... Oh, the idiot!
Oh, we have conflicting accounts, and one that says others claim that they might have been created by the Illithids themselves. Through mixing humanoid hosts with powers from the Far Realm. Oh,
that's another place where I'm that I heard they were from, and that's a 4E thing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I can't see shit.
Gith led their surviving followers, who at this point started calling themselves Gith Yankee, meaning children of Gith, to the former Illithid settlements in the astral plane, where they could regroup and gather strength. In order to conquer the entire multiverse. That's right, because that's their thing. Oh, wait, disagreement led to a violent civil war among the Gith. Zarathamon was killed, and his followers, who called themselves Gith Zerai, meaning those who spurned Gith in the Gith language, oh, that's cool, retreated to Limbo in defeat, but not before dealing substantial damage to Gith's forces, which could no longer sustain it. So, seems like Limbo is where they ran to, the Gith Zerai, because then, that's what I'm thinking of. They became masters of Limbo because they could shape it to their will. And then the Gith Yankee were in the astral plane to do pirate shit.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
So we've got two species of Drakari. One that's in Kimura and one that's in the warp, I guess.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too much more into this. They're basically somewhere with the Illithid, maybe.
They are from the astral plane and from Limbo.
Yeah.
So we're both correct.
Yeah. Weird. Anyway,
but anyway.
yeah. Okay.
So is the astral plane space? That's what we really
That's
need to
the
know.
question. Yeah, let me look that up. That'll be a better one. Yeah. Is the astral plane
outer space?
Yeah.
Now you're gonna get on some fucking flat earther forums.
I'm excited. Oh no, this is r/d&d. Okay.
Oh, good.
The astral plane is analogous to outer space if you're thinking of the planes as individual planets, but that's not really how it works. Outer space and other planets would all be a part of the material plane. The astral plane is just closely connected with most different planes of existence and is often a means of travel between them, likely not something that would be closely related to a star's druid, although I could see them making that work. Okay, so that's that one person. Is the astral sea outer space? Usually the astral sea takes the place of space. So if you leave the atmosphere, you pierce the planar boundary and enter the astral sea. You can then travel between planar spheres the way one might travel through space. So you're
traveling to different planes, not different planets.
Yeah, I'm having conflicting things here.
It's a lot of different words for we should have just made it so that space is a thing.
Maybe Spelljammer is the way that it would go. Maybe Spelljammer would be a definitive, I think, because it's space. Space is the space between planets. Check out Spelljammer for more info. The astral plane is basically fantasy space, as they both fill the same niche or niche.
It's niche.
I know. I like.
You
niche.
like Nietzsche.
I do like Nietzsche. If you want your outer space to be more fantastic, like having a colony of star elves living on a comet without worrying about how they breathe, you can swap in the astral sea to hand wave away those technical questions.
Yes,
brother. I don't know, man. It's fine. Whatever. Basically, I don't care. Whatever you want to do with it. It's fucking up there, out there. Who cares?
Yeah. So let's see. Can we agree on this? Space is space, and astral plane and astral sea is magic space. How about that?
Yes, I'll go with that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
that works for
weird.
me.
It's just weird. That's all. Since there's no definitive thing that people. I mean, again, if Spelljammer literally says, "Hey, no," then I'll be like, "Okay, sure, fuck it, I don't care."
Because that's basically the D&D space setting.
It's something that I'm not too hung up about, you know?
Yeah.
Or hung up on. He's using the claim that it's more fun as a reason for why it's better, using one opinion as a reason for another opinion, which compounds the subjective nature of what he's saying. Yeah. If angels aren't from a world, angels aren't from a world, they are aliens to it. That's true. By definition. Yeah.
I know. I just mean like space aliens.
Yeah. When he said he forgot what he was talking about, it reminded me of myself for a moment. That's fair enough. They are called celestial outsiders. True.
That's true.
Yeah. If I was in D&D, I would live wherever Tiamat told me to. Yeah. The astral plane is basically another dimension. Yeah, it is. Because it connects all the dimensions, and it makes more sense. It is. Well, it's safer than that.
Depends.
It's safer than the warp.
It depends on where you're going through it.
I think it's categorically safer than the warp. What happens if you enter the
astral plane and you're next door to the plane of fire?
I think it's still categorically safer than the warp.
Yeah, it's true. Just touching the fucking... It doesn't just, call demons from...
It literally doesn't just melt you when you go inside it, okay?
Yeah, it's true.
It breaks your fucking mind when you look into the fucking warp.
Yeah, and you get
unless
like
you're
all
trained.
the demons of fucking Tartarus. It's like, hey, what's good?
Exactly. I'm pretty sure 3.5 is at least one source book that goes into the planes in detail. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's one of those things where people do it so like they put it in place of space itself, right? Like it's whatever. So, but at this point, I'm happy to say that it is its own dimension. It is not actually outer space. I'm happy to do that. Because I don't care. There are those dead god babies there. What, in the astral plane or in fucking the warp? Because I would say yes to either, probably. I don't know. Anyway.
Bigfoot. You could you have your party meet Bigfoot. How does that sound? You want one of your party members to be a vampire? You got it.
It's true.
All of the above. You can do it. Anything.
You can also do all of that in D&D. Wowie! Indeed. So easy.
Yeah.
Wendigos and rakshasas and dragons and ghosts and ghouls and all sorts of things. You can do anything. Did I mention aliens? You can bring in aliens. The possibilities in Monster of the Week are actually endless. There are very few rules that cannot be...
Yeah, I was gonna say, as opposed to any other TTRPG, I can literally point at Vampire the Masquerade and go, hey, brother.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Bent or revisited, because this whole thing has always been a work in progress. They mentioned in the beginning they want your feedback, and they give you, Michael Sands gives you permission to take the reins and run your game however you want to run it.
So does D&D. Sorry.
Like,
I don't know if you've read the player's handbook.
All we can say is like, so does D&D.
Yeah.
So does D&D.
Yeah, exactly. And D&D has rakshasas. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's also in there. It could be like the world
weird
tree from...
fucking like backwards hands thing.
Yeah.
Weird.
It could be like the world tree from Norse mythology for the astral plane. Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh,
absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I would make if I was really cynical and a bastard, which I am.
Okay.
I would make the astral plane basically just like an office building. You go in there, it's like, it's like, hey, can we get to the plane of fire? It's like, yeah, it's like 400 doors down to the right. You go in there,
exactly.
Open the door.
Like, and Matt Mercer already gave me permission. Here we go. And Matt Mercer already gave me permission to do whatever I want. That's right.
Goddamn right.
We all know that he's the authority.
Yeah. He is the true god of D&D.
Are just 12 principles of how to effectively run this game.
Oh no, not another list!
And also kind of fun to read.
Not another list of bullshit.
Don't worry. It'll be fine. This is fine, probably.
God, I hope.
It's not gonna be. It can't be Garibay. Let's be fair.
I know it can't be
physically. I cannot.
He is not Garibay.
Therefore,
it can't be
I
Garibay.
cannot imagine there being anything on par. Okay.
God, I hope not.
Number 1, put horror in everyday situations. Number 2, address yourself to the hunters, not the players. Number 3, use the keeper move.
Okay, so
oh my god! All right,
we're gonna incredibly basic bullshit of referring to a player
by their character,
as their character.
Yep. Thank you. Wow.
And are you gonna elaborate on it? I hope. Okay, I'm gonna hope to be fair, that he will. Yeah, what I'm saying, I will hope that he is going to list these out and then talk about it. By the way, I'm in a mission with Commissary Eric himself. Fuck yeah.
There you go. Hell yeah.
He didn't die.
He didn't die, I swear. To be fair, they could write it so he didn't die.
Ugh.
Dude.
I know.
It's fucking Games Workshop.
They're probably gonna bring him back as like a dreadnought or something.
Something, right? To be fair though,
because I know Angron fucking killed him by reeing really, really hard.
if they do actually kill him forever though, like that would be actually something that I'd be like, oh, finally.
Yeah, right. Finally, somebody fucking dies. Kill I actually give a shit about.
Kill more people that so we can have more characters, because fuck me, we've had the same ones forever.
I know. Like, I just want the fucking Primarchs to die, man. I know that humanity basically will die without them, but fuck.
No, we've been doing fine without them, alright? It's fine.
Well, not with Commissary Eric dead now.
No, well, yeah, now we're in a worse spot, but, before that, we were alright. Probably.
Yeah, I just want some different fucking Space Marines. And just less Space Marines.
Well, yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
That's why you pay attention to, like, the Salamanders, right? Or you pay attention
the Salamanders and the fucking Lamenters? Hell yeah, dude. And the Inari. I love the Inari. They're super cool.
Fuck yeah. Anyway.
Two
Garabays existing.
Whole other thing.
Two Garabays existing in the same reality would annihilate each other and destroy the universe. That's true, yes.
Wait, what? Huh?
2 Garabays existing in the same universe.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a black hole. It's like 2 Falcon punches impacting. That doesn't happen.
Yeah. I would say he does not live in his car, so he cannot be Garabay, hopefully. True. True. This isn't a car, I'm pretty sure.
I hate that the shovel is unironically fantastic. I hate that.
Hey, man.
It's so good, dude. It cleaves really well.
Yeah, come on.
It's got good attack speed.
Have you never seen the Krieg? All right.
Oh no, I know the Krieg. I know the legends.
The legends that foretell of the men who are cloned. Did you see
that video that I posted of the charge the Titan with the shovel? Happy gas mask noises. Did you see that?
I haven't yet. No.
Oh my god, it's really good.
I'll have to watch it later.
It's like 20 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moves, but never use their names. Number 4. Be a fan of the hunters.
Sorry, I want to hear 3. I didn't hear 3.
Kind of fun to read.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Oh.
Put horror in everyday situations.
That's just a thing you kind of need to do in a horror setting, really.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you shouldn't do it for all of them.
Not for all of them, no. But I assume, for my interpretation of it, just means that you a town itself, a normal town, should have horror elements in there, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's what I assume, just so that you can inject horror into it, so that you can have that tone, right?
Yeah,
which I'm fine with. But
the way it's worded and the way, because the thing is, he's going off of rules as written a lot in this video. I'm worried that he's make everything horror at all times.
I hope not. I doubt it. I really do. I hope not too.
Yeah, I hope not. But man, who knows?
So could a goblin kill a paladin with a shovel? Yeah, well placed one.
Oh, absolutely. Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
If your dice are shit, absolutely.
Number 2. Address yourself to the hunters, not the players.
God damn.
Number 3. Use the keeper moves, but never use their names.
Use the keeper moves?
So is that literally, and I will go and find the keeper quote-unquote moves, but I assume that's literally just saying what you do as a keeper, but don't tell them what it is you're doing. How you run games?
Yeah.
Where you just run them, and you don't tell them exactly what you're doing. You're not saying, I'm rolling
okay, guys, there's an ambush coming.
Right, I'm rolling to see if you missed the ambush or not, right?
Yeah.
I swear to God.
This is... Anyway, come on.
Keeper's first session. Hold on, I just want to see. Art template, ended days, corruption, custom moves, mystery creation, the hook, all that stuff. Yeah, I assume it's literally just the terminology. Don't say the terminology that you are using as the keeper. It's yeah, no shit, all right? That takes you out of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's something you need to clarify for rules purposes.
Exactly.
Number 4. Be a fan of the hunters. That's my favorite. Be a fan of the hunters. Your players around the table in a game of Dungeons & Dragons, often it feels like, at least for me, often it feels like when I am playing a game of Dungeons & Dragons and we enter a combat, it often feels like I'm rooting against my players. I'm playing the...
That's an unhealthy way to play it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so my immediate stance for any time I run anything for anyone is that I want them to succeed.
Yeah.
I want them to go through, and I want to see the story that we tell. It's not... I am not the monsters. I know this is a kind of a meme, but literally, I am not the monsters. The monsters want to kill you. I do not want to kill you.
Yeah, the monsters are the dice.
Yes. Exactly. I do not want to kill you. I want you to succeed. I want that to happen. I want to challenge you. But the monsters, they want to kill you. Your antagonists, all that kind of stuff. They want to kill you in most situations, or just see you fail.
If I put you guys in a canyon, I want you guys to climb out.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want the campaign to end because you stepped into a canyon and then you couldn't climb out. It's well, we're done.
That, again,
we'll starve.
It really just seems like a bad mindset that you're in, friend. That's it.
And then here's the other thing. You need a book to tell you to not want to kill your players.
To be a fan of them. It's like, come on, man.
It's a nice sentiment, but it should not be like the should not be what separates you from a meat grinder DM and a decent DM.
Yeah. Again, not to say that you are a meat grinder DM, it's weird to have that as a mindset, right? Like it's just strange that you would even say that.
Yeah. It's very weird.
Because again, did you read the player's handbook? I just need to know. I assume you did once a while ago, and you remember it mostly, right? Like everyone who makes a video in this kind of way, and then says things about D&D that are not true or are immediately something that I can cite in the book. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe read it before you do a video on it to really make your points better, so that you don't say stuff like this. Maybe. Research and stuff beforehand. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Matt Mercer needs to tell this guy to root for his players. I know, right? That is a thing that I think that was a thing that he actually made as a video at one point for Geek and Sundry. Probably. I don't know.
Probably.
Roleplay.
It's Matt Mercer, so he probably.
It's true. He's a pretty good DM. All things.
He is a good. He's pretty all right.
Yeah. Passable.
Acceptable. He's no Garibay. Let's be honest.
Here we go. DM
God.
DM walks into the room and says, "Damn, you players suck. I hope you lose." Yeah, exactly right.
Now, there will be times where I'm like, okay, so, gloves are off.
Sure,
That is not me saying, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Mm-hmm.
That is me saying, what I throw against you is not going to be easy.
Yeah. And
exactly. It will take effort and intelligence to get past it.
Yes. Hell, in the fucking Project Astatine, I wanted my big dog man to do things, and I was like, man.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I was a bit of a shitter because I dumped a lot of points in dodge.
No, it's good. It's good. That's the thing. I'm glad you did. At the same time, I was like, man, I wish this thing did a lot more.
Yeah, I know that exact fucking feeling. Man.
But like, to be fair, it did do a lot. So at the end of the day, it did work out.
Yes,
there's a lot to that game that I looking back at it, I'm like, fuck, I should have done things different.
It's okay. Yeah. That was your first time running it, so I mean, hell.
That's true. Or Garibay. I'm sure even Garibay would tell him that. True. I think Garibay would even go like, yo, I mean, your players you're gonna want them to win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows? I guess it depends on what mood Garabay's in, I think.
True.
Oh, sniper.
The monsters, and I'm rolling for the monsters, and I am really pushing for those monsters to deal some damage to my players, and it's a little less collaborative than I think maybe they intended it to be.
No, it's not. It's your mindset, and you need to separate yourself from the brother, we talk about compartmentalization at times. It's not as hard as people make it seem. It really isn't. You are not the monsters. That's the easiest. Like, you want them to succeed. Just because you're also rolling for the monsters doesn't mean that you are them. Like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it any more simply. I really don't.
But in Monster of the Week, Michael Sands tells us to be the biggest fan of our players. No matter.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look at the Dungeon Master's Guide, because this is necessary now.
Yeah, I want to see if Sans fucking Undertale said that.
Well, so no, I'm talking about the Dungeon Master's Guide for Dungeons and Dragons. Like, literally, if it just says that you want the players to like do well at all, because I seem to remember that being a thing.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole deal now,
right?
It used to. Excuse me.
You're good.
It used to be that way in like 1E and TSR,
Right.
where there actually was like a DM versus player, but that's not how it is anymore.
Page 4. Page fucking 4 under the Dungeon Master. Under the introduction, even at the very end here in this little paragraph, page 4 says, the D&D rules help you. I remember we read this once. The D&D rules help you and the other players have a good time, but the rules aren't in charge. You're the DM and you are in charge of the game. That said, your goal isn't to slaughter the adventurers, but to create a campaign world that revolves around their actions and decisions and to help your players coming back for more. If you're lucky, the events of the campaign will echo in the memories of your players long after the final game session is concluded. Brother!
Oh, sounds good.
Now, I'm citing the Dungeon Master's Guide because we're talking about specifically DMs in general.
Oh, well,
right?
I mean, nobody's ever read that.
No one's ever read it, to be fair, so, you know what? I'll give him a pass there. But at the same time, the sentiment should be there in general, you know? It's not... It's crazy, but the other thing that I can, I guess, point to is that he did say that the DMG was one of the things that you needed. So, he should know.
Page 4, you said?
Page 4.
What the fuck?
The first section that is actually anything. The introduction, really, to the book. Like, I'm baffled. I'm
baffled and bamboozled.
Flabbergasted, even. Fucking... I bet even in the player's handbook it's like that. But regardless, like, that's the thing. If you need the creator to tell you that, the Wizards did that too, man.
Yeah.
Like, just because it's one guy, as opposed to an organization, a business, I guess. However many writers made that book, you know, it doesn't give you any more credence one way or the other, right? It doesn't. That's an appeal to authority, in a way.
Yes.
Which I'm like, okay, what does it matter? It doesn't. Well said, Mr. Rulebook. Exactly.
No matter what, they will face dangers and they will face horrors and nightmares, but through it all, their cheerleader is the person running the game. And that's just pretty special. Number 5. Build up a coherent mythology of the world as you play. And that's so important, right?
Yeah.
Because we're building the world together, we can designate the new rules, the supernatural, spooky rules, right? That don't exist in our mundane life, or maybe they do. Magic is real. Number 6.
Nice. Okay, so you can do that in D&D. Moving on.
Yeah.
That's literally part of it, like, inherently, because you're playing a game together and creating a story together, and the rules will change because of the player's actions, I hope.
This video is going to be basically just, you can do that in D&D, the video.
It does seem
and we've
that
had
way.
a few of these at this point.
I know, but, like, this one, it's
this
20.
one's, like, especially egregious.
It's 26 minutes, man! It's crazy!
How many seconds is that?
So many!
Nothing is safe. Kill bystanders and minions, burn down buildings, let monsters be slain. Man, I had a lot of fun with this rule.
You telling me you never did that in D&D? Like, ever?
Yeah, are you telling me you've never had collateral damage? Come on.
You telling me that evil didn't do that in D&D, brother? Are you sure? Are you sure that you needed this book to now enlighten you to the fact that you can do that in your campaign?
That evil is evil?
That evil can kill random innocent people?
No.
That the monsters can die? That all that, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
What are we
Where are we?
Where are we?
Alejo, you know where we are?
Where are we?
Here we are.
Here we are. That's right. Here we are.
Here we are.
Only one person in the world can tell a DM how to run their own game. Emperor Naruhito, the highest ranking human in the world. That's right. Naruhito. I don't know who that is personally.
I don't actually know. That sounds like something the weebs would know.
To be fair, they are an emperor. All right?
It's true.
So, you gotta listen to them.
Yeah.
I blew up a building in Seattle. Not really, please. NSA
Okay.
That's
kind of funny.
It was a little funny because for a second, you know.
I
was like, oh wait, I just said that.
Blow up a building in Seattle. This is gonna be really bad if like a building blows up in Seattle now, and I just said it on YouTube.
Okay, and the joke is
Number
dead.
7. Name everyone they meet. Make them seem like normal folks. That was so hard for me.
Also hard.
It's hard for me too.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we come up with generators. We talked about this. Yeah, it's something. It is something.
It is something.
But it's inherent to like all TTRPGs. Woo!
Yeah.
Anything he can bring up will be a possibility in D&D. Oh yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Naruhito is the current emperor of Japan.
Oh.
Well, all glory to the emperor.
Japan still has emperors? Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I guess the line still exists. It's just not really.
I don't know.
It's like,
I wonder if it's like the Queen and the King.
Yeah,
of
it's
England,
like that.
right?
That's what, yeah.
You know. Anyway.
Creating realistic characters is a little less simple than in Dungeons and Dragons with my NPC codex that we talked about last week. They threw me through the ringer. They would put me, my party, they put me in a lot of situations where I had to make up a lot of names and a lot of character voices and a lot of personalities really quick. Cool. But still, I mean, they're real people, so I mean, you could be like, this is Sam Johnson, and this is Dan.
So regardless, they're not real people.
Yeah.
And in D&D, they can feel real, but they're not real people. So again, like pointless, neat. Cool. Yes, Japan still got emperors. That's cool, honestly.
Yeah, that is still cool. Because I imagine they don't perform the actual political function.
I would imagine, yeah.
But the line is still there. That's super cool.
Anyway, he's the only emperor in the world at this point. That's true. He is emperor of the world.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, because there are no empires.
Yeah, exactly.
Not yet.
Bronson.
Oh.
But right here is an instance of Michael Sands acknowledging the
fucking
deep
Undertale. That's his name.
For immersion in a game, right? You want to make the characters that they meet feel real, and it is so.
I wonder if he got that inspiration from, I don't know, anywhere beforehand. I wonder if that's been, I don't know, a thing you want in your TTRPGs from the very goddamn beginning.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's also in D&D.
Well, I think you should check the books just to make sure.
Dude, I could. That's the thing. I was
Don't
literally
do it.
Well, so that's the thing. In the DMG specifically, I skimmed over it for a second, but it was talking about making NPCs, and I was like, so
yeah, and actually, that reminds me. I did used to own a copy of the DMG. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
And I the DMG actually had a really nice set of tables and ideas for making NPCs.
Yeah.
It's like on a D10, it's like, oh man, they're tall, they're skinny, they're they have like blotchy skin.
Yeah.
They've got like a mole or something.
Right,
What
yeah.
the fuck, how'd that happen?
Just something unique. Right?
Yeah, and that was something, and hell, there was actually one that was like, how is their voice? Do they stutter? Do they, are they very forceful in their language? It was a really good table.
Right, yeah. Well, so, I wanna just highlight, it's literally on page 4.
Again?
I just want to highlight, it's not exactly, but it's something to give you that implication, right? We've got this section that says consistency is key to a believable fictional world. First off, yes. Second off, when the adventurers go back into town for supplies, they should encounter the same non-player characters, NPCs, they met before. Soon, they'll learn the barkeep's name, and he or she will remember theirs as well. Once you have achieved this degree of consistency, you can provide an occasional change.
Yes.
It's already like, yeah, so NPCs are a thing. They should learn their names, maybe, or, all that kind of stuff. Later on, you do have that somewhere of, like, the NPC fucking generation, but I'm not going to go to that because I don't need to.
Yeah. Alejo,
yeah.
I think you should really do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
And just tattoo that fucking paragraph to your chest.
Consistency. The consistency
the
one?
whole thing. That way it's like, is there something inconsistent? Rips open shirt. Fuck you! Do this! Be pretty great.
That would be pretty funny.
So important. I just talked about this for 25 minutes last week of how important it is to immerse your players into the game, and here it is right here in the rules.
You haven't read the rules. You haven't read the rules for D&D in forever, so you just don't remember. I'm convinced at this point.
Of Monster of the Week. Number 8. Ask questions and build on the answers. Man, is it nice and freeing as a keeper rather than a dungeon master to not have all the answers, right?
What? That's not a good thing.
No, so even if you don't, that's the thing. In both instances, you cannot have all the answers, but you can still come up with them. And you can still ask questions. Like, fucking, I'll play a game and I'll go, I'll go like, I'm dungeon mastering it, let's say, and this happened. Okay, so we were playing. This was a long time ago with a different group, and we were playing in my first world, which is garbage. It is not great.
Agris or the one before that?
Yes, Agris.
Okay. Yeah, it is garbage.
It is garbage. It is. I will 100%. It is garbage. And like my
you can
friends,
use mine. It's okay.
My friends at the time were like, "Hey, that's not how like rivers and stuff work. This is like all this kind of." Well, so and I was like, "Oh, really? How do they work?"
Yeah.
And then they went and they were like, "Oh no!" So it would actually probably come from here, and it would go to because like they weren't doing it in like a way that like was
okay.
malicious.
They weren't being like nitpickers.
No. They were just saying.
That's
like,
why I said, "Oh,
if you want it." Sorry, let me phrase it more. If you want this to be more realistic and more believable, then it wouldn't be like this, right? And I was like, "Oh, okay. Tell me more," right? And then we went into how that worked, and we figured that kind of shit out, and then. It was all a big learning thing because I didn't know how shit worked. And it was nice because they knew how shit worked and they helped me. Regardless of what situation that is, whether it be how to take care of a sword or how the terrain would be, all that kind of stuff. If there's something that I don't know as much about and that somebody else is more knowledgeable about, I will ask them questions about it so that I can better my knowledge and also implement it better into the game. Regardless of the system.
I guess when I said that's not a good thing if you don't have all the answers, I guess I was thinking of a story perspective. That's my bad.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know, man. But this is like... it's crazy. It's I guess maybe, let's be fair, I guess maybe he felt too pressured to have to know everything in D&D. In which case, that's unfortunate. I can see that happening. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Again, preference in that respect. Because I think that more people should be more okay with the Dungeon Master, like, taking a second and going, I need to figure this out. Or, can you help me figure this out? Or can we all just collectively as a group decide on what we like better, if it's like this or if it's this way, right? Like something to make it so that the stigma of the DM literally having to just fucking like have a conniption every time something isn't like the way that it should be, right? Like I feel like we should maybe encourage the fact that maybe we should all help with that so that we can all learn from it and maybe, I don't know, take a little bit of pressure off the guy who's trying to run everything. I don't know. But no. Only Monster of the Week. Because they said
only
it in
Monster
there.
of the Week. Yeah,
They said it
it's
in
not
their
possible
thing.
in any other game.
That's right. The Emperor might still have some say on things, but not everything. Don't call me on that, however. That's fair. Yeah, I don't know.
That's true. Probably.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's the same thing with the Queen. I imagine their word still holds at least a little bit of weight.
Right, exactly. Anyway.
We can sit around this table with our friends and ask them what they think is going on, right? Ask them what is happening. And as they come up with answers that maybe you weren't thinking of, I mean, it gives you ideas and builds. And this is like a seasoned DM trick for Dungeons & Dragons that nobody really talks about these days.
What's your point? The fact that they put it in your Monster of the Week book is good because everybody does it already?
Well, okay, you know what his point is, though? It's a better game.
Right.
Point.
Forgot about that. Sorry.
It's better.
Yeah. Maybe then the criticism should be that more people in general should talk about how to get ideas from their players. Though people talk about that all the time, I'm pretty sure. So okay.
And again, here it is, right in the rules for Monster of the Week.
Here we are.
Number 9. Sometimes give the hunters exactly what they earned rather than everything they wanted. I mean, it's
consequences for their actions.
Yeah.
What I would say, but sure.
Yeah, that's a much better way of saying that, but I get it.
I get it. Yeah, it's another way to say it, I guess.
But there's not really any reason to say it in that way.
It's the more conversational way. Make you feel like you're talking.
Nobody would say that shit in a
No, I
conversation.
know. Somebody would say have consequences for their actions.
God damn it.
It makes the game feel real and give the stakes more stakiness.
Sure, yep.
But even though we get to basically sandbox the rules of the world as we build them, it can be a little too much if we give our hunters everything. Man, I had a player who really, really wanted a grenade launcher the entire game, and I really held out until he had done some really heroic shit, and then he earned that grenade launcher.
Good.
He got it.
Yeah.
And I think he died.
Good. Okay.
Oh. Well, I guess he blew himself up with it, didn't he?
It's very good. Good job.
You learned how to DM. Good job.
Oh my god. The thing that they really wanted that they've been working towards to get, you gave after they worked
for it?
Yeah, they made them work for it. That's crazy.
You mean you didn't buy your child a PS5 for literally no reason? You didn't make them earn it through good behavior?
This video gets a D- from me. The peanut butter sandwich master has spoken. There you go. Yeah. Gives the steaks more A1 sauce. Yes, very true. You'll shoot your eye out. That's right. That's what I would say. Yeah. And then you would
shoot their eye out.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Too little, too late. Just a disclaimer: the hunter died, not the player. That would be really bad.
Yeah, thanks. We got
really bad. FBI, NSA, steer clear. Hunter died.
Joke.
Not the.
Yeah, the first time it worked.
Hunter,
now it's
character in it's a game. Number 10. Think about what's happening off screen. Right. So
yeah. So the world moves without the players being in it. Very good. Okay.
much like these shows like Supernatural and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all this stuff, we see these scenes with the heroes, right, the protagonists of the show,
right.
And they're doing their business, and then it'll cut away to something else that's happening, letting the audience in on something that's happening with the greater mystery or something that's happening that our heroes don't know about. And it is supremely important to keep this in mind while we're playing this game, right?
Really basic ass storytelling.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
this is basic as
like,
shit.
It's like, I'm sorry, but like,
no, yeah, like, I'm sorry. This is baby level storytelling.
Yeah, it's been that way for a long fucking time.
Yeah,
like
in order to have full context and to tell a compelling story, the listener needs to have the perspective of multiple people, depending on the type of story that it is.
Exactly.
If it's being told from a first-person perspective, then obviously you only get it from one perspective.
Yes.
But the majority of stories are told from a third person's perspective.
Yeah, if we're gonna reference TV and movies, like, we are an observer in this world. Most of the time, we get only the information that the character gets, and when we get information that the character does not have, it is in order to heighten tension, to create stakes more, like, and then to get to that point of, like, having the character figure out what it was that happened, to get that resolution of them figuring out what we've kind of been also figuring out with them, potentially. Like, we might not get all the pieces, like, it's to endear us, it's to get us to be on their side, to understand and be happy when they accomplish whatever they're going to accomplish. Like, it's all there so that we can fucking, like, enjoy the story.
Yeah, like, imagine if, let's say Lord of the Rings. It's something we never referenced. We never talked about this.
Never talked about it once.
Imagine if you're following in Two Towers.
Yeah.
You're following Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli and Theoden as they're going to Helm's Deep and all that.
Yep.
And they're like, oh man, Saruman's gonna be a big piece of shit, and he's gonna attack.
Yep.
And we don't like that, so we're gonna go ahead to Helm's Deep and, like, turtle up.
Yep.
Imagine if it never showed. It never showed any build up from Isengard.
No, never.
It never showed the Uruk-hai.
Yep.
It never showed them traveling. It never showed the size of the army. Now, it would be a decent enough reveal, but it would be a massive disconnect, because it's like, how the fuck did they get there?
I was
Where did they come from?
How did he get all those forces? Where
did he get all that? It didn't show him coming out of the ground or anything like that. You need that context.
It's like you see that he's got some orcs and stuff, and then that's it. And it's like, well, where did these guys? They're not orcs. What the fuck are those?
10,000 of them. How the fuck did he get that many?
Make all those? It's like, yeah, if you didn't have any context whatsoever, then it would be like, it would just be a complete, like,
it'd be a mess.
It would be a contrivance, not a contrivance. It would be a plot hole, honestly.
Yeah, it'd be a plot hole.
Just be like,
because there'd be no explanation for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You could infer it, but that's not your job.
So yeah, inference is something you can do when it makes logical sense, right? And it's fine to infer things when it does make logical sense.
Then I guess
right? assume. I guess
you would
have to assume, right? You would have to make headcanon. You'd have to, like, be like, I guess he just made them or hired them. Right?
Yeah, and the thing is with movies, that is not the viewer's job.
No, you can't write the movie for it.
That is the filmmaker's job or the screenwriter's job.
Exactly. You can't write the movie for itself to understand what the movie is doing. If it's a logical inference, right? Yeah, if it's a logical inference, that's fine. It just has to make logical sense. It has to have a follow through that works. But if it's literally you're going, yeah, so he just went and got him. How did he get him? Oh, magic. It's like,
who the fuck knows?
What?
Yeah, he's a wizard.
It's like, well, but he created life.
Yeah, right.
How did he? What?
I thought only Sauron could make orcs.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It's like torturing elves and shit.
Exactly. And then with all the context you get, he is literally creating them. Like, and he even says that he's creating them from orcs and humans, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was the big thing. It's like a combo of orc and human.
He's making a better version so that he can use them and shit.
So the hybrids, really.
They are. And then you get the context, and then he's like, we're going to, and then the reveal of all of the armies when Grima's like, but you would need so many. You would need
to. I love, but my lord, no, fucking, what is it? But my lord, there is no such force.
Yeah, and then immediately just fucking...
Yeah, and then it goes to the meme of whatever, just like a large amount of something. Right? Like the monkeys and fucking during COVID, remember that shit?
Yeah, that's right, that's right, yeah. But like, yeah, so, and then it reveals that, and then you're like, oh god, oh no, and then you get to the heroes, and you're like, oh fuck, they're gonna be fucking swarmed. Oh my god, how's that gonna go? Right? And it does so much for the story. Anyway.
Basic storytelling.
Basic storytelling.
Do basic shit. Be basic.
Oh my god. If the players don't know, how can you tell them something off screen? Well, so that's the thing. You don't.
You don't.
For D&D or for any TTRPG, what you just do is you make notes as the DM or runner or whatever the fuck you are. You make notes as to how things are progressing in the world outside of what the players are doing, because logically, the world moves. People just live their lives regardless of what these characters are doing in it, right? And so you just kind of figure out, like, oh, well, they left on Tuesday, and if they come back on Thursday, it's Pie Week, right? Like,
oh man,
and everybody's like having a celebration and making pies, and it's like, oh
I like
shit,
pie.
Yeah, I like.
What kind of pie?
I would say for these people, we'll say some pumpkin.
Pumpkin pie, you said?
Yeah, pumpkin.
Yeah. Sorry, the music's loud.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah. So like, yeah. Anyway. Maybe this guy should try that Nerds D&D module series from last year.
Oh, come on. That's mean.
I like the burn. I like it. But man.
Oh, man. I still have all of that, by the way.
Yeah, I bet you do still, yeah.
I fucking hate that I had to spend like $14 on Nerds just to get all that shit.
So funny.
It's great, dude.
And I guess I've got my clowning done for now. Time to head home. Well, there you go. It was a good one.
Indeed.
All right. Oh, fuck.
Audience, ostensibly, is the keeper? Or anybody reading my notes, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, this rule reminds us to keep in mind all of the movements that are happening just off the camera, right? All of the things that are brewing around them. It gives us the opportunity to create a scenario that happens across town while they're investigating something in the woods, and now all of a sudden maybe they need to split the party, and now there's some more off-screen, split-screen, hard-cut TV magic that we can do to collaborate this story into something a little more interesting. Number 11. You don't always have to decide what happens. Again, man. Any rule that takes the work off of the person running the game's shoulders and kind of helps the party hold it up, whew, that's a friendly rule in my book. And number 12.
Oh.
Make it so that the players can affect the plot?
Well, I think it's more so that you... I'm trying to put it in a way that doesn't seem like that, because that's very simple. And
well, I mean, hell, the other ones were simple too.
I know. I assume that it means that we are getting the players' input as to what might happen potentially with the situations, depending on what has occurred. Which, sure, you can do that anyway. You don't need a rule for that unless, like, because it's one of those things where, okay, in certain situations, I had this happen, actually. Another example, I had some events go on, that led to this group, getting kicked out of a city. And, when we were doing it, they kind of, the whole party was like, I don't know about this. And I was like, oh, really? Okay, let's talk about it. And so we did, and we kind of came up with a better way to get it so that it would work out a little bit better, right? And that it would actually lead to that point a little bit more logically, right? And so we did it, and it worked out a little bit better. And then, the story could continue. And it's one of those things where if something doesn't really work for, like, the table, then I'm totally interested in input, right? Even if it's for one person, I'm interested in the input, regardless. But for a whole table, it's a problem, right? I need to listen to them and see what's going on and see if there's a way that we can maybe come to a conclusion, together, right? So maybe something like that is what this is. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. It's an interpretation I can have on the vagueness of that rule. Which is great. The players may know, but the character's knowledge can be limited. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I think that's how it should
be. Excuse me. The players are getting it from the third person, whereas the characters are getting it from the first person.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I would say that if they can make inferences as themselves, potentially, with information that the character has, then the character can also make that inference, right? But they can't just go jumping to, oh my god, it's a werewolf, when we've had no evidence of that whatsoever, when they just, like, know of, like, 3 different things from the monster manual, right?
Okay, sorry.
No.
It was like that. You see dog-like footprints, it's a werewolf.
No, it was good, and I'm glad that you thought that, honestly, because I was like, that's not what it is.
Yeah, it's not a werewolf. It's a were-dog.
Yeah, well, it's just a dog, man.
It's a were-Bernard. Oh my god, I would love that, actually.
Yeah. It's the fucking Shaggy Dog movie, if you remember that shit. Okay, you also do. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember.
I'm glad my pain is shared a little bit. That's the off-screen stuff. Sounded weird to me. Oh yeah, just putting it in that kind of time. Well, that's just
it's just a weird way to say that the world is alive and should continue to move and do stuff.
Yeah, like I get it. It's a way to view it, and if that's the way that he views it and it works for him to understand it that way, then good. Because I get it too. Like it's just what it is. But anyway.
Yeah.
Everything is a threat. Everything.
Oh.
Now, in a very Call of Cthulhu reminiscent way, this rule keeps our hunters on their toes at all times, because at any given moment, the bystander or citizen that they may be talking to could turn out to be a werewolf, or a vampire, or a witch, or a ghoul, or a lich, or a ghost, spooky, or an alien. Did I mention aliens?
Yes.
It is the atmosphere of Monster of the Week while you are playing it that makes it so much fun. Like I talked about last week, put on a little spooky music and maybe some creaky.
So, I just want to tell you that you're appealing to outside things, to create a tone, in which I would appeal to the same things if we're going to do that for D&D. If we want to make a horror tone, hell, fucking, doppelgangers? That shit's terrifying.
No. Please no.
Like, it at the end of the day, that's just a thing that's there, you know?
Or is it?
But like, exactly, right? You can absolutely run a game that's like this with that kind of, or a vampire, or a werewolf, any of this alien, any of this kind of shit in D&D, and set the tone if you make sure that is the tone that you want to have the game be, right? You have to have your players also be in that
kind of on board with that,
right? Exactly. And again, you've referenced Call of Cthulhu in your video now, so like, you can do that in Call of Cthulhu too. In fact, I would say Call of Cthulhu does a bit more, preferably in my case, because you have the added factors of not just it being real life, but it being old-timey real life, where we don't have as much shit to deal with, usually. And even if you do it in real life now in Call of Cthulhu, then A lot of that stuff doesn't really work very well when it comes to that shit.
Yeah.
So, mimics as well, right? Like,
yeah.
You've got so much potential with many different kinds of monsters in D&D as well.
I remember, I don't know if this was a video or if this was a green text or if it was a green text in a video, and I also don't know if you've ever seen this, but I remember hearing a story about a DM sending his party off to some town to look for, like, people who went missing.
Right.
People went to this town, it's like, and then they went missing.
Right.
And it was like this old western town. It was really neat.
Ooh.
The entire town was mimics.
So I remember hearing about this. Yeah.
Yeah, what they did were they had big mimics that mimicked houses.
Yeah.
And then small ones that did furniture and items inside the house. It was like a hive of mimics.
Yeah.
It's fucking scary because it's like, we're gonna find all these missing people. You walk into a house and it fucking eats you.
Right, exactly. It tries to digest you immediately. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's again, that's the tone you want. You can do that. I believe.
Yeah.
Setting the tone is not just, something that is like a horror game will make it easier, sure.
Yes.
But you can, again, we've talked about it. You can do it in D&D.
Oh my God.
We've talked about this.
I got a chainsword.
A character, nice. A character would need really high wisdom to know everything in a world. Yeah, they would have to be a god, basically.
Wooden board house sounds as they're exploring some potentially haunted mansion, and dim the lights down low and make everything really spooky and scary and use a little bit of flowery descriptive language, and all of a sudden your players are actually scared sitting around the table. What?
No, they're not. Sorry.
Potentially, I suppose, right? Depends.
Yeah, their characters probably will be, but your players won't be.
I hope
your
so.
players are sitting around a table eating Cheetos and in the shade, in the dark. They're not scared.
I mean, to be fair, sometimes it can affect people differently, right? Some people can get a little spooky.
Narrative.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I must. If I'm gonna break his, I have to break everyone's.
I get it.
I love the idea of hive of mimics in the form of a town. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
Character creation in Monster of the Week is quick, it's simple, and it's honestly kind of a blast, with mechanics on how you met all of the other members of your party, and a delineation of different stat blocks that you can choose from that are offered by each playbook, or class as you would call it in Dungeons & Dragons. And there's all sorts of super fun playbooks like The Wronged, which is somebody who may have had their family killed by a certain kind of monster and has spent their life studying that monster and hunting them, or The Professional.
Definitely seems like a one-off character usually.
Yeah, these basically just sound like I don't even remember the name for it in 5e. It's like basically like your past.
Oh, your backgrounds, yeah.
Background, that's it.
Yeah. No, it gives you your certain skill set and like all that kind of stuff, which sure. And like I think they're fine. I like the inclusion of a backstory kind of thing for different characters. It's neat, but again.
So now, one other game that does backstories fantastically well is Traveler, and the way it works is during character creation. Once you have built your characters with your party members and all that, one of the portions of character creation is you look to one of your other players, or the referee, I think it's called in Traveler, tells you, it's like, you and your character, what were your characters doing some terms ago, and then what skill did you both get out of it? And so it's like, oh, well, my character was a merchant marine, and I was in this sector. What were you doing? It's like, oh, I got holed up in a gambling den, and I managed to get some money out of that. It's like, okay, well, when you made that money, I was on a nearby planet or on the planet that you were on, and I offered to escort you, and we both wound up, you ended up sharing some of that money with me. So that gave you a level of carouse, and that gave me a level of pilot small craft.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So that's baked into the rules.
Right.
And that's a fantastic way to get your characters to be like, oh, yeah, no, I know this guy. That was from, blank.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I can cite a bit of what Vampire does with how you try to figure out the dynamics between you and your coterie, in the sense of like two things that you like, or something that you both are like about each other, or sorry, it's something that they like about you and you dislike about them, and vice versa, right? Which is something that can lead to how you kind of came to be a part of this group, or you can obviously not do that if you want to be like brand new to each other. That's totally fine. And you have the touchstones that you have to go for, which are like people in your life that really matter to you, that are like people that you turn to, like to center yourself in like being human still, right? All that kind of stuff. Your background itself can give you literally like people, like a servant, or a ghoul, or a herd that you feed on. That's like could be like one of my characters, or one of my players had a character that had a following because they were a cult leader, and that was their herd. Like they were all following the same faith, right? And he would just feed on them on occasion, right? Like there's a whole bunch of and that's all baked in, and you get like benefits from that shit, right? So there's a lot of different ways to do it, is the point.
Yeah, and other games have it.
Yeah. So nice. Best RPG, huh?
Someone who works for a government agency, that a shadowy government secret agency that hunts down what goes bump in the night. Or
Delta
there's
Green.
the Hex, a real-life magic user who burns sage and uses crystals and old pagan Wiccan rituals to cast spells, or the spell slinger, a literal wizard. You can even be something called the mundane, which is just a person. Yep. Nothing special, just a person. Pretty good at getting abducted by bad guys and attacked by monsters. Just a person. You can be the monstrous, a vampire or werewolf or ghost or half ghoul or zombie or whatever kind of monster that you possibly might want to be. You could be the monster.
Well, I mean, it's just as I was going to play the ghost, I had my backstory being like I was kind of tied to this like organization that was going to be a thing where I'm used as like a line of defense, right?
Okay.
Because it makes sense to me in the sense of like trying to use it against the things.
Yeah,
out
you
there.
fight fire with fire.
Exactly, right? I think overall it's fine.
It's just a little bit strange to me because I know that I have to use Call of Cthulhu as an example because I've never played Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
But in Call of Cthulhu, the example that they give is that in Call of Cthulhu, you cannot play anything other than an investigator.
Right. Yes.
You cannot play as a monster. You cannot play as like the cult. You can't be the bad guys. You have to be the heroes. And so I guess that kind of just strikes me as odd, where the entire purpose of the game is to hunt down the monster, and you can play as the monster, or the monster. He may be wording it poorly.
Yeah, he's wording it poorly. You are playing as a monstrous person.
Monster.
Yeah. You aren't the monster.
Yeah, he's wording it poorly.
Yeah, he's just saying it as like, you are the monster, which is not the case. You're not a bad person.
You are a monster.
Yes, you are a monstrous
who may be good
person. Yes.
Well, no, I mean, you're a vampire or a werewolf or a zombie. You're a monster.
Right, exactly. And which I would then again cite that D&D can also do that.
Yeah, there's like a
quite easily.
whole big deal about playing as monstrous races, and people like to do that
Yep.
because it's awesome.
Yep.
Also,
So-
there are some people that play as devils.
Yeah, I know, right? Weirdos.
Fucking weird.
Yeah. And I've just realized that he's arguing that this is the best RPG on the basis of it being better than D&D. Yes, that is literally it. Yep. And I don't know why, because I assume it's just because D&D is the most popular.
Well, don't you know that D&D is the best RPG that's ever been created?
Right. It is what is it? The world's, what do they have on this?
It is the RPG of all time.
That is true. It is definitely the RPG of all time. The world's greatest role-playing game is what it says. And by their term, I assume they mean most popular again, which popularity means nothing to me. And it shouldn't really mean much to anybody. Just because it's popular doesn't mean you'll like it, right? Like, that applies to everything. I'll admit this part is selling me on it. Oh no, this is the thing. Monster of the Week is cool.
Monster of the Week is fine.
You should absolutely play Monster of the Week. Don't go around saying it's the best RPG ever. Or just the best RPG in general. Like, that's crazy.
That's dumb and disingenuous.
Yeah, don't do that. A bit of backstory for my character, Leroy. He worked for a trading house for 10 years to get away from his brother and sister being weaker siblings, working on his magic on the side. Oh, cool. There can be good monsters. Sans Undertale said so. That's true.
That is true. Sans
It's
Undertale
true.
did say that.
He did
Sans
say that.
fucking Undertale, sorry.
That's right. That's right.
That's his middle name. You have to pronounce his entire name.
Right.
What? You can be the chosen one. You can be the
Please,
expert.
but don't.
You
But
can
we
be-
strongly urge you not to.
There's one that's called The Chosen One, but I don't remember.
I know, it's just like,
Yeah.
you can be the Mary Sue.
I don't even remember what they do. Let me go and see. Chosen. No, it's just the Chosen.
You can even be the main character.
It's just the Chosen, and it says, your birth was prophesized. You are the Chosen One, and with your abilities, you can save the world. If you fail, all will be destroyed. It all rests on you. Only you. Oh, what a thing.
Yeah, so you can be the main character, so that's pretty neat.
Exactly. That seems strange to me.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb. I don't like that.
I guess I understand that they did it because the trope, right? For their tropey kind of stuff. But at the same time,
this is a collaborative RPG.
Yeah,
so.
it's a little weird because then it just means that we always need to make sure that the Chosen One is alive all the time.
Yeah, so then the whole game just becomes an escort mission.
A little bit. Although, I mean, they can do stuff. Like, they can do...
Yeah, but they're still the plot. They still need plot armor, though. That's the problem.
One of the things is being invincible, which means you always count as having 2 armor, which I assume is very good. So that's interesting. I didn't know about that one.
How nice.
Oh. Man, that sounds like the most boring thing to play to me.
So I actually made the joke, but I was actually right. You can be the chosen one, but we strongly urge you not to.
Yeah, this is the thing, by the way, for those of you listening and watching. If you're looking at the screen and you're listening, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Huh. Sure, fuck it. Whatever. I don't know. It might be better than we give it credit for. I don't know, but it sounds, at least conceptually, incredibly annoying and boring.
Yeah.
Goddamn luchador! There is a luchador class.
Okay.
You can be.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fucking sick. To be fair.
Yeah. No. Like, that's pretty fucking. It's like
baller. It's like the old Mexican hero luchador from all those movies that they made. You know,
so
the
like
one.
El Santo.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, basically.
I know El Santo.
Yeah, and he would fight fucking everything. It was great.
Yeah, dude.
Love that guy.
Do luchadors? I'll ask you because
I know
a bit,
why. I'll be honest.
Oh, okay, never mind then. So I can't make them. Oh, well, if I can't make it racist, I'm not gonna fucking do it.
Go on.
But do luchadors ever do like German suplexes, or is that not really a move in their arsenals? Usually,
I don't know that off the top of my head, but I assume somebody has.
because I just want to suplex somebody, man.
Sure, yeah. That's fair. I mean, to be fair, I'd fucking let you, right? Like it doesn't.
Yeah, right. No,
Come
like
on,
I'm gonna suplex
right?
people. I wanted Ray Jang to suplex Kieran when he ripped his horn off. So like,
Oh, that would have been so good.
that'd be fucking awesome.
I would tell the DM to use Leroy's brother and sister's NPCs if they see fit to rise the drama a bit. Oh yeah, absolutely. Family members are always a good one. El Santo was awesome. Yeah.
A luchador from Telemundo. You can be a gumshoe private detective. You can be...
We're spending too long on this. I'm sorry. You
Yeah,
only
we
needed
are.
a few
The
examples.
only one that you should have brought up was the luchador. That would have sold me.
I'm
That's
fine
the
with
only
you-
one. Because that's the only one unique enough for me to, you know.
The monstrous one and the luchador are the two that I would absolutely put in, but like,
Yeah.
I think a couple others are good. It's just you're going into literally all of them, and it's like, well, okay, so you know, get some stuff that's like wacky and weird and some intrigue.
Yeah,
stuff.
you
Like,
gotta get the
them,
interesting ones.
give the monster, give the luchador, give the magic user, and give like the chosen one. Okay, like, or
Yeah,
maybe
you couldn't
don't-
fucking do it like, oh man, you want to play D&D? You get to be a guy with a sword.
Right. Yeah.
You get to be a fighter.
Yeah,
You know? Like,
exactly.
no.
Right. So you know, you just give us some interesting stuff and stop.
Yeah.
If it's a Tales of Symphonia campaign, you might not want to be the chosen one. Boo. Yes, they can use German suplexes. There you go.
Nice.
a mad scientist. There is virtually no limit on what you can do and the tropes that you can pull from television and movies and all sorts of sci-fi, paranormal, spooky media that you could put into this game. There is just so much fun to be had.
Yes, I agree.
I'll see Dungeons and Dragons letting me be a luchador.
Brother.
You can just be a luchador.
Brother. 5e, it's not as good. But
you could.
In 3.5,
you can.
In 3.5, I made a luchador, alright? I have one statted and ready to go. His name is Oso, and he fucking grappled, man. That was his thing.
He was a grabbing man.
He was a grabby boy, and it was great, alright? Don't you dare even think, like, fucking hell, just because it doesn't say specifically that you can't, like, that you can be a luchador or not, doesn't mean that you can't make a luchador. What are you doing? Infinite possibilities, and yet you are limiting your own creativity, as Aiden would say. Like stifling, sorry, true. But like legitimately, come the fuck on. You can't be like this. You can't. It's disingenuous. It is.
In their rulebook. And there's some pretty solid examples.
Like, and you put in their rulebook, which just is one of those things of like, oh, so I value, this is what I'm getting from you. I value that the rulebook tells me how to play. And I need the rulebook to tell me how to play, otherwise I can't do it. What is that implication, man? What is that? Why would you have that as a mindset? Where are we?
Here we are.
Just, I'm lost, man. I'm fucking lost as to how you even let those words escape your mouth. You watched your video back, maybe, and then, no, you had to, because you put in the cuts, you put in the edits, so you had to have watched your video back, and you literally were like, yeah, no, that's something, that's staying
keep that in.
That's staying in. Hell yeah.
By the way, if I wind up missing something, it's because I've got the fucking boss music going.
You're fine. It's better than this. Now I want to make a luchador character. Do it. It'll be so much fun.
examples of how to actually play the game by watching or listening to people play out there. I did a couple of real play episodes in season 1 of my podcast, and the Adventure Zone, their second full season of real play, was a game of Monster of the Week, and the McElroy brothers just do an excellent job covering the rules and doing sort of a step-by-step playthrough of a really well-written campaign.
I'm sure they did.
Good job, Griffin McElroy. Well done. A lot of cool stuff in there, and a lot of cool media to be consumed about it. So if you are a tabletop role-playing game enthusiast like myself, and you do not already have a copy of Monster of the Week by Michael Sands, go get yourself a copy. I got mine at Jetpack Comics. You can...
I agree. Go get yourself a copy of Monster of the Week. Not for, like, many of the reasons that this guy is saying at all. But
because it's a cool game.
It's a good game. It's a cool, good, easy to learn, easy to play game. And it's a fun time, it seems. Fucking broaden your horizons in general. Fucking go and play Monster of the Week. But it is not the best RPG.
It is not.
Nothing.
No.
I don't think that I can categorize. I don't think there should be a category of what the best RPG is. Because literally, I'm pretty sure people will cite D&D just because of its popularity and its sales. And that is not a good metric.
Yeah, that's not.
It's not a consistent metric because, again, you can apply that to so many other things, and it's like, do you really think that? Do you really think that? Let's be careful with that metric. Come on.
Yeah, because then that would make the new Star Wars movies the best ones, probably.
No, it would make Transformers the best.
Oh yeah, that's
because it's the most. It made the most fucking money of all time. Not all time, but it was really fucking successful money wise. Like, and so just. And if we just want to go by what our personal enjoyment is, then you can absolutely say that Monster of the Week is your favorite, and it's something that you would recommend.
It's the best.
Yeah, you can say it's the best for you. You can say that it's something that you would recommend to everyone. In which case, I would say I understand that you would. I understand that you would. I would recommend Vampire to pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
Like, fucking...
Maybe not to the younger ones, but...
No, they need to be corrupted early.
Okay, yeah. No,
and, like, Delta Green, I would also recommend to everyone. I really like those games. They're really great.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah. So, like, fucking... I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to make a multi-class monk bard character to play them as a luchador or a wrestler of some sort at least. Hell yeah, do it.
Yo!
Absolutely.
Why a bard, though?
Inspiration from speeches, dude.
Oh,
like,
okay,
fucking,
fair. And like the posing and shit.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, JoJo character.
That's right.
That, actually, you know what?
You could make
I think Monster of the Week would be amazing for a JoJo campaign.
Sure, yeah.
It's like every time you're fighting a different stand user, you know?
Yeah. Leroy and that luchador would be the best tag team of all time. Now I just need a bard to sing our theme song. Hell yeah. Do it.
Order them online from Evil Hat Productions, generic game. I forget which one. Order the book online from Evil Hat Productions. I'm pretty sure they also have.
Why did you keep that in if you just fucking cut it?
Yeah, come on.
There's a line between being casual and being professional and being like, I guess, ignorant in a way. Not ignorant. Ignorant is too strong. It's not. It's just, it seems
uninformed.
Lazy is what it is. It's not, which also might be too strong. I don't know. It's just, it throws me off, man.
Apathetic?
Maybe. I don't know. It's just, like, because I don't believe that he doesn't care, but I think he's trying to seem more relatable, which is, and it's just not, it's going too far over that, right? It's going into the territory of it being, like, way
cringe.
Too lazy and cringe.
Yeah, there we go.
I
knew I would go. One of the words that I supplied would work.
Yeah. So,
PDF copies available, I think, for free, and a lot of materials, new stuff coming out all the time. But I really encourage you, go get the actual physical paper books. They're not very expensive.
Sure.
They are fun to read. Like I said,
Sure.
they read like a conversation, and it's enjoyable to read over and over again. You really only need one around the table, so there's really no reason that you shouldn't go and get yourself a copy of Monster of the Week and start playing it, unless, of course, awesome, spooky, paranormal stuff isn't your steez.
Well, you poisoned the well when you said awesome, so good job.
Yeah, and your steez? What?
Yeah, that's another way to say style.
Oh.
That's been around for a long time, actually.
I've never heard that before.
Good.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. That's about as enjoyable to hear as someone calling you a stan when you like something.
Fair. I've used it ironically on occasion just because it sounds dumb.
Yeah,
it's great.
Which is fair. I do that too.
Yeah.
In which case, might I suggest Honey Heist, a one-page PDF role-playing game about a...
It's the exact opposite. I get it, because it's all about bears trying to get honey, even though it's super cool. It's a one-page thing, and you play as different bears to go, and like you have to balance being a bear and being like a human, quote unquote. And if you go too far on one side, you lose and become a too bear, or if you go to the other side,
you either too bear or too human,
right? Whatever this other side is, and you have to steal honey from people in different and you make up whatever scenarios, and it's got a bunch of different. It's fun and wacky. It's what it is.
Dude, that sounds fucking great.
It's really it's only a one-page thing. Honey Heist.
Honey Heist,
I believe, something like that. Yeah, and it's
sounds fucking amazing.
It's great. It's super fun.
Horrible bears eating honey and committing honey-related thefts. All jokes aside, Honey Heist is actually a pretty awesome RPG.
Yeah,
good,
super fun, mega adorable.
Yeah,
play it. That's all I've got for today. As always, like, subscribe, share, all sorts of stuff. Tell me in the comments exactly why you think I am wrong, and I will reference the rule books to prove you otherwise. Monster of the Week is super awesome. So is Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, and Lasers and Feelings, and Honey Heist, and Numenera, and all of the other great games that exist. But Monster of the Week, it's just super good. Go get it. And, and share and subscribe, and
it's not even the same point.
Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's not what
somewhere around me on the.
You've changed your point to now it's just great. No, you don't understand.
No, it's the best.
You said it's the best. That's why we have an issue. It's not the best in general. It is the best for you. Good job.
And if you're listening to this in a podcast form, you can't see anything. Anyway, see you next time.
Many long drawn out jokes. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
You gotta brevity is the soul of wit, is what they say. Not all the time, to be fair. But for your case, I'm sorry. You gotta be a little shorter on the jokes. Give me a little bit of a hard hitting punch. Alright? Yeah. Don't give me the fucking you go in, you hit me in the stomach, and then you start tickling me. You start tickling me, and I'm like, what the fuck are you? What is going on? Why are you doing that? And you're just like, I don't get it. What a bad video. I don't like that one. That was bad. You didn't make good points. You made things that I could literally just cite in the books for D&D, in the player's handbook most of the time, but you even brought in the Dungeon Master's Guide, which gave me even more fuel. Why would you do that? That's silly.
I don't know, man.
Don't do that.
God damn it, there's a fucking veteran here named Gardy McGuardface.
Good. That's good.
That's fucking great.
Pro wrestling is one of my favorite things ever since I was a kid, so making a luchador would be easy as pie. I like pro wrestling. I don't watch it a lot, but I used to when I was a kid with my dad, because he'd just watch it.
Oh, so if you like pro wrestling, one thing you should definitely watch is Little Karibo's series, The Mark Remark.
Oh, yeah. I watched a couple
amazing.
of things. Yeah, I watched a couple of things. I should actually go back and watch it.
I've seen that whole series because I've seen the whole series the first time, and then now I put it on as background noise, and it's also funny.
Hell yeah.
I've probably gone through that whole series like 7 times.
That's fair. Absolutely.
Watch The Mark Remark. It's funny as fuck.
Okay.
You don't even need wrestling knowledge to get the jokes.
Oh, sick. That's great.
It's just that good because it's Little Karibo.
Yeah. I don't like the ego at the end of the video. I don't know if there was much of an ego there. It was just he was trying to make jokes.
Yeah, and they just kind of the only one that really worked was the whole I'm not actually blowing up a building.
Right, yeah, because
he fucking killed it.
I wonder if it was more because we paused right before that he said it. Or if it was because of the delivery but then he did ultimately fucking just went off and
then
killed
he's
it.
like, okay, you beat the horse, now it's dead.
Yeah.
The horse was alive.
The horse was alive. It was alive. It's true. Anyway, bad. So let's move on to comments. Then we'll talk about all this stuff, and then we'll be done because it's been 3.5 hours. Oh my god! Wow! I actually thought it wouldn't take as long as it did, but it did. So I'm happy because I had something else in spare. But we're good. We're good. We did it. We did the thing. So let me bring up comments. Just make sure to refresh just in case. There we are. Very good. One comment from Lux. Oh. Here we go. Come back over here. Get comments up. There we are. When the guy said he would use the rule book when he did not read it. Oh, true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that was weird that he would say that when citing, like, because again, most of his shit was appealing to feeling and like his own like emotional investment in it. It's like, no, I don't think you understand that the rules won't help you in those respects.
The rules can't save you now.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Did your comment not work? Did it not? Did you leave a comment? Because if you did, it might have been because I don't remove comments regardless unless it's a bot spam. But if you be careful because if you include links in comments, YouTube doesn't like that. So there's some things that YouTube will just remove without me seeing it, which sucks. So it might be that. So I apologize for the way that YouTube has treated you, and I will have a stern.
Don't worry, it's treated all of us like shit.
It's true, but I will have a stern word with them over an email that they will never see. Anyway, Lux says on last week's, I suppose the angle I'll go with here are a few house rules I like for 3.5. The first one. First level players can start with whatever set of mundane armor they want, plus 100 gold to spend as they like. Raw, a character at first level starts with a set amount of wealth based on the class of their choice, which they can use to purchase equipment and items before the start of the game. My house rule allows players to start with whatever equipment loadout best suits their character concept and ability scores from the beginning, instead of buying cheaper equipment that they're going to want to replace later. The stipulation is that the players have to already be proficient with their starting armor, and they have to use it until they can replace it with something that's actually better. In other words, you can't start with a full plate and immediately sell it in the first town. Normally, a full plate costs 1,500 gold. The starting armor has to be mundane quality, not masterwork or enchanted. This can make players somewhat stronger at first level, but not to a degree that I consider excessive. The fact is that they can still easily bite off more than they can chew, even with this advantage. Not to mention, a higher armor check penalty in itself can get you killed under the right conditions. That's true. And I like that, yeah. Second house rule is arrows don't break when they hit their target. Arrows in real life don't break when they hit their target. This is just a game mechanic meant to make players treat their ammunition as a limited resource like firearm rounds, but it's an unnecessary break from reality. If the arrow misses in an outdoor setting with no solid backdrop behind the target, I'd still give it a 50% chance of being lost. But arrows that stick to their target aren't destroyed. Same applies to crossbow bolts and sling bullets. Yeah, I think that's just like the unofficial rule that we all do, you know?
Yeah.
Because nobody cares to, like, literally no one cares to do ammunition. Even though I like it.
Yeah.
I was one of the ones back when WoW had ammunition that I was like, I want to go and buy more. And then I bought a shit ton of ammunition. Remember those days?
No, I never played during those days.
I played in a private server that had that as a thing. So, yeah.
Nice.
So I got to experience that, and that was fun.
That's cool.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I missed that shit.
I jumped in Cataclysm. And then I went to... I got to Warlords of Draenor.
I think I officially, like, jumped in that Cataclysm. And then I dropped out... What was the one that was right after Warlords? Storm something? No.
I think it was the Legion.
Yeah, I played that, and then I dropped out. And now they have the Dragon one, and I'm like partially tempted, which sucks.
Huh.
It's a sniper. Damn, I said in the comment that I could not find your old channel. Can you help me find it? My channel? My old channel? Oh god. Yeah. Really? You can't if you just hold on, let me just type in Gradon 95. Oh, that's me, right there. Right there. Oh my god. Dawn of Gaming came up? Oh my god. Fucking this was back when Brogan was Game Boy 721. We made a combined channel that was shit. That's also a thing that's there. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Anyway,
that sounds very cringe.
Yeah, it was. If you find the one with this profile picture, it's just great on. I have a few things there. Hey, look, it's me. Yeah, I got a lot of things there. I even have my face there. So if you care for that, I guess. It did not do that. Oh, well.
My god, how horrifying.
If you just put in @Gradon95, you see this, right? Oh, you can't see that. If you put in youtube.com/@Gradon95 like that, you should be able to find me. I'm in there. If you really care to. I don't have anything good on there. I promise you. So enjoy. And through that, you can also find I think I have subscriptions as well as I have my live channel that I have all my old, or not all of them, a lot of my old streams are on this channel, and then I have a few of them that are on this channel, right on live. Anyway, that's the cringe that you can have there.
Yep.
Thank you, bro. You're welcome. I completely privated my first ever LP that I did because
that's good.
It was bad, and I said many things that I shouldn't have said. Not anything like,
not anything bad.
No, not anything bad. Just bad things to say. As a fucking
just
15,
stuff you don't want to.
Yeah. As a 15-year-old, there's a lot of things. Fucking 15 to 20. There's most of that shit that I should have just privated, but it'll bite me in the ass. It's fine. Anyway, third is not really a house rule of my own, but a variant rule from the Unearthed Arcana sourcebook. Armor as damage reduction. The way this works is you divide a suit of armor's normal armor bonus by 2, rounding down, to get the armor's new armor bonus. You then subtract this result from the armor's original bonus, and the difference is applied to the wearer as damage reduction. For example, a breastplate, which normally provides an armor bonus of 5, will now provide an armor bonus of 2, and a damage reduction of 3 under this rule.
Oh, damn.
Any enhancement bonus on armor increases its AC, but does not affect its damage resistance. Shields also grant their full AC bonus, not damage resistance. My own adjustment to this rule is to clarify that touch attacks ignore both the AC and damage resistance bonus from armor. What this rule does is makes sure you're not casually stabbing a knight in full plate with your butter knife unless you're really good at stabbing. There. Yeah, sure.
I just did a charged chainsaw rev attack. Hell
yeah. I'll leave a comment on the channel so you know I found it. Oh, sure. I believe it. You're good. Anyway. Excuse me. My fourth house rule is that studded leather armor is now gambeson. Gambeson is a type of quilted linen armor that, according to Shadiversity, would have provided better protection than leather armor. Yes, I also saw that video. It is very good. Studded leather armor never existed in real life, and even its basic concept is flawed, as putting some small metal studs on leather armor is not going to increase its defensive value by any significant margin. Most likely, the concept of studded leather was born when someone in modern times saw a drawing of brigandine and thought it was that. Brigandine is a type of armor where metal plates are riveted inside a leather lining, which would look like studded leather to someone who doesn't know any better, but actually provides a degree of protection compared to breastplate. Yes, also true. Brigandine is awesome. For the fifth house rule, I'll put up here, covers damage to shields and armor. If I'm bothering... Oh, sorry, no. That's 6. Blech. Fifth house rule, any character not wielding either a shield or a melee weapon capable of causing lethal damage with which they are proficient suffers a -1 penalty to AC against lethal melee attacks. This is because the character lacks a means of effectively parrying or otherwise fending off the attack, and must therefore rely purely on their ability to either dodge the blow or absorb it with their armor. Sure, I can see. And the sixth and final house rule I'll put up here covers damage to shields and armor. If I'm bothering with this, any attack that exceeds the target's touch AC will strike either the target's shield or armor. I mentioned something about that in chat, but didn't phrase it correctly. If the attack actually hits the target, it will strike the target's armor as well, and the damage rolled against the target will also be applied to the armor reduced by hardness. If the attack roll beats the touch AC, but not the defender's full AC, there is a 50-50 chance of the damage being done to either the defender's shield or armor. Again, this damage will be reduced by the shield or armor's hardness. The problem is, I don't remember where to find the hardness and HP for armor, if there even is a source for it, so this one is really more theoretical than something I actually use. I also remember there being hardness and HP for armor. I don't know where you can find it, though. I'm sorry. So you're not crazy, if that's ever in doubt. I remember this specifically being something that I read in 3.5, and I was like, oh, I like that, and then never had it ever come up. So those are my 6. Mostly comes down to flavor preferences, not so much for handing out huge advantages to players. Yeah, that video that had all, like, 27 of them with the few that were, like, super fucking advantageous. Jeez, man. It was crazy. Plus the 2 weapon fighting one with the just making everything worse for 2 weapon fighting to be better and all that. Yeah. Anyway.
Ow, what the fuck was that?
That was an attack, first off. And second off, that's that for the comments. So, we'll move on to talking about some shilling and some shouting out, and then we'll leave you for a week. So, that being said, a thank you to all of our patrons who helped support us, helped us get to goals, and helped us get some new stuff. I have to show you the art that I got, Boo, later, after the show, for that thing that I told you about that one time. But yeah, so things like that will be coming soon, I promise you. And for much more, of course. But that is to say, thank you to Draco Kraken at tier 4, Mog0 at tier 4. Thank you as well. Rick, aka Unit Rico, at tier 4. Thank you. Slazer at tier 4. Thank you so much. Steely at tier 4. Thank you. Drake Cross at tier 3. Thank you. Chris at tier 2. Thank you. Frozen Spaghetti at tier 2. Thank you as well. And Lux Serpent Eye at tier 2. Thank you. And of course, a thank you to our tier 1. Appreciate you all. If you would like to, you can obviously go over into Patreon, search up TableTalk Discussion and Discourse, or just put in patreon.com/TableTalkDND, or use the link in the description of this show, this episode, and any really episodes when we started the Patreon. You can find a link there that you can copy paste or whatever, or click maybe. Sometimes you can click it, and go over there and give us as little as $1 a month if you would like.
Give us more though.
What? If you would like to. It is not an obligation, but it is appreciated nonetheless, and you can help us get towards buying more artworks and more if we need microphones, if those are ever an issue, or any kind of stuff that we need for the show to up its quality that is pretty low to begin with. So really, it's all up from here. So other than that, of course, you can go over to TableTalk D&D, .us, or US, really, depending on how you want to say it, and go over to our support us page and buy the custom dice. If you haven't thought about it, well, think about it, because they're pretty good dice. They're pretty cool. They got the little logo on them and everything, and they're really nice colors, and they roll pretty well, and they're pretty sick. This was one of the things that patrons, as well as viewers like you who donated in, have gotten us to be able to do. Leave a permanent mark on the world. Permanent in our lifetime sense. Maybe not cosmically. We'll see. And so I have so many sets here. I have 99 of these sets, and they're only $25 a piece for all 7 of these dice in a little dice bag. So think about it, if you'd like some cool dice. And of course, other than that, and I'll talk about it a bit in depth now, you can go over to TeePublic. You have like an hour to do this sale. Whoops. There's a sale going on apparently. And go pick up our logo on stuff. I recently received a mug with the logo on it, which actually came out pretty well. I like it. It looked a little silly when I looked at it before, like on the actual thing here. In fact, let me go see if I can find it right here somewhere. Where do I go to find the mug? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it looks a little silly with these pictures, right? Looks a little silly, but it works. I will say it works pretty well. So I recommend it as a mug to use for drinks and such. I don't know about the travel mug. I don't have a travel mug, and I don't use travel mugs really, except for this one I have over here. So potentially that's also pretty good. I don't know, but regardless, I also received a hoodie that's one of the thin hoodies. Fits the form very well. I need to work on my form so it doesn't fit it so well, but it is it's nice. I like it. I get thin hoodies because I get warm way too fast. So I think it warms me up pretty well as a thin hoodie. So think about it. That's also a thing. And hopefully tomorrow I should get the wall art so I can actually like put that up. I got a poster that's a 12 by 24 inch, I think it was, which is a strange dimension. Because you need like a custom frame for that, which is annoying, but I want it on my wall.
If you want, what you should do is you should get magnetic poster holders.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good.
Because I have that for my wall art.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because basically what it is just a spike that you stick in the wall, and then it's just a little magnet that you stick onto that spike.
Okay. Yeah,
So
the
you don't have to,
problem
like,
is that I
pierce anything.
can't do that for the apartment because I probably shouldn't stick spikes into walls.
Really? You can't even put like a thumbtack size?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, that's
true.
about how big it is.
Oh, okay, that's not as bad.
Yeah, they're pretty small.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to be careful with them.
Yeah, no, I know.
But anyway, so that's an endorsement from me, everyone. If you would like to go over to TeePublic, and remember, a percentage of it will also go towards the artist who designed our logo. So do that. If you would also like to do that as well, it's another incentive for you to give money to other people. And to be fair, I will be completely transparent. We make so little money off this. This is like nothing.
We are basically starving.
That's true. But no. To be entirely transparent, I bought these 3 things that I mentioned on sale off this site, and we got $5 total, and it cost me $60.
Damn.
To buy all, and they're good quality, so like it's worth it if you want them.
So then buy a lot so that we can eat.
It's worth it if you want them, but if you like, it's not something that will give us a lot of money either. It's just a thing that's there, and I want to be completely transparent with it because I don't care if we make a lot of money from it. I just want people to enjoy the things, right, and support the show in that way. If you enjoy the things, anyway. Other than that, of course, you can go over to Humble because we are partnered with Humble Bundle, and you can go and buy bundles with our link in the description to support us as well as Tabletop Alliance, who also has a link in the description, so you can go and find out more about their charity work, as well as give money to it through buying whatever you want through Humble. Using the link in the description that is the Humble link. Doesn't matter if you get the bundles, the stuff in the store, whatever you get through it. If you use that link, you will get a percentage of it that you can do sliders to go towards us, as well as the charities, as well as the site and other things. It's very cool. I love Humble. Humble's great.
Yes.
What is the Halo stream? Don't know yet. To be fair,
yeah, we don't know. It just kind of comes and goes.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a busy time. It's kind of the holiday season. Unfortunately, it's kind of been Thanksgiving into this Christmas season that I've been preparing because I've got like my friends are doing a Christmas thing as well as my family's gonna do a Christmas thing, and then I need to die on occasion to reset. So it's one of those things where it's not really a set time. So
yeah, usually lately what's been happening is if we don't play D&D, we try to do it.
Yes. So potentially Thursday, but it's not a guarantee. So
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. If we had more time, more free time, definitely would do more, but at the moment, we're kind of slaves to schedules as well as the holiday season. So
yeah,
but look forward to more when we do it. So
yeah, and hopefully we won't get just nothing but crashes.
Hopefully, we'll see how.
But hey, at least we're at the very beginning of that level. So
that's true.
It didn't crash at like the tail end of it, just like the fucking 4th portion.
Yeah. Sorry to hear about you guys starving. I was just at Denny's. I could have told you about all the food I'd had there. Oh, dude.
Oh, you were just there. Well, you already can't fucking remember it? Jesus.
It's called a food coma, boo. God.
I'm well acquainted with that.
Yes, same. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
That's all she wrote.
For hanging out, for watching. For the future watchers, for the past watchers, for the weird quantum
present watchers,
between watchers, the present watchers, absolutely. If you're new, consider subscribing. We got a few more subscribers. We're up to 660. We're almost at the devil number. I'm excited.
Oh my god, nice.
That'll be fun, just because it'll be a number that we get to.
Yeah,
and always going for that bigger number if possible. But, you know, taking our time. It's cool. We've been doing this for 3 years. We're nearly at the end of the 3rd year. Like,
crazy.
Once we get to the end of January, that's the end of the 3rd year, and then we'll be in year 4.
Yep.
Fucking insane, man.
Crazy.
Fucking insane. Might do something specially for Christmas. We'll see. Potentially, I don't know. Maybe a after Christmas, before New Year's thing. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's
It's a lot lately.
It's a lot. Anyway, again,
goodbye.
Thank you all for hanging out, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
There we go.
I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.